what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Gordon M. Ameth Jr.,
Edelamiro Abad,
Marie Rose Abad,
Andrew Anthony Abate,
Vincent Paul Abate,
Lawrence Christopher Abel,
Alana Abraham,
William F. Abramson,
Richard Anthony Aceto,
Heinrich Bernard Ackerman,
Paul Aquaviva,
Christian Adams,
Donald Leroy Adams,
Patrick Adams,
Shannon Lewis Adams,
Stephen George Adams,
Ignatius Udo Adanga,
Christy A. Adamo,
Terrence Edward Adderley Jr.,
Sophia B. Addo,
Lee Adler,
Daniel Thomas Afleto,
Emmanuel Akwazi Afwakwa,
Alak Agrawal,
Mukul Kumar Agarwala,
Joseph Agnello,
David Scott Agnes.
Joao Alberto da Fresca Aguilera Jr.,
Brian G. Ahern.
Jeremiah Joseph Ahern,
Joanne Marie Adeolas.
Shabir Ahmed,
Terrence Andre Aiken.
Godwin O. Ajala,
Trudy Alagero.
Andrew Alamino,
Margaret Ann Alario.
Gary M. Abero,
John Leslie Albert.
Peter Craig Alderman,
And my uncle, Charles William Garbarini.
my brother-in-law Sal Edward Terry Jr., may you rest in peace. Your sister Faith still misses you to this date. You've been a guiding light and a hero always to this date. Thank you very much.
Jacqueline Delane Aldridge Frederick,
David D. Alger,
Ernest Ali Kakos,
Edward L. Allegretto,
Eric Allen,
Joseph Ryan Allen,
Richard Dennis Allen,
Richard L. Allen,
Christopher E. Allingham,
Anna S. W. Allison,
Janet Marie Alonso,
Anthony Alvarado,
Antonio Javier Alvarez,
Victoria Alvarez Brito,
Telmo E. Alvear,
Cesar Amaranto Alviar,
Tariq Amanula,
Angelo Amaranto,
James M. Amato,
Joseph Amatuccio,
Paul W. Ambrose,
Christopher Charles Amoroso,
Craig Scott Amundsen,
Kazuhiro Anai,
Calixto Anaya Jr.,
Joseph P. Anchundia,
Kermit Charles Anderson,
Yvette Constance Anderson,
John Jack Andriacchio,
Michael Rourke Andrews,
Jean Ann Andrucki,
Sue Nia Ang,
Joseph Angelini Sr.,
Joseph John Angelini Jr.,
David Lawrence Angel,
Mary Lynn Edwards Angel,
Laura Angeletta,
Doreen J. Angersani,
Lorraine Antigua,
Sama David Aoyama,
and my father, Kevin James Murphy. I love you very much, Dad, and I know you're looking down at me with a big, big smile on your face today. I love you.
and my uncle and my hero, New York City firefighter and United States Marine, Matthew David Garvey. We love and miss you, Uncle Matt.
Peter Paul Apollo,
Faustino Apostol Jr.,
Frank Thomas Aquilino,
Patrick Michael Anyos,
David Gregory Arache,
Michael George Arjinsky,
Louis Arena,
Barbara Jean Arstegui,
Adam P. Arias,
Michael J. Armstrong,
Jack Charles Aaron,
Joshua Todd Aaron,
Richard Avery Arano,
Myra Joy Aronson,
Japhet Jesse Arie,
Carl Francis Asaro,
Michael A. Asiak,
Michael Edward Asher,
Janice Marie Ashley,
Thomas J. Ashton,
Manuel O. Asentimbe,
Greg A. Atlas,
Gerald Thomas Atwood,
James Otterfred,
Louis F. Aversano Jr.,
Ezra Avidas,
Sandy Ayala,
Arlene T. Babiquitas,
Eustace R. Bacchus,
John J. Badagliaca,
Jane Ellen Basler,
Robert J. Bearwalter,
Andrew J. Bailey,
Brett T. Bailey,
Garnet Ace Bailey,
Tatiana Bakalinskaya,
Michael S. Bashk,
Sharon M. Malcolm,
Michael Andrew Bain,
Catherine Bantis,
and my brother, Joseph Michael Giacconi.
and
His
my
family, his friends will never forget. I come here every year for 16 years to make sure I hear his name so that I can honor him and make sure that he will never be forgotten.
and my grandfather Howard Selwyn,
Gerard Baptiste,
Walter Barron,
Gerard A. Barbera,
Paul Vincent Barbaro,
James William Barbella,
Victor Daniel Barbosa,
Christine Joanna Barbuda,
Colleen Ann Barco,
David Michael Barclay,
Matthew Barnes,
Melissa Rose Barnes,
Sheila Patricia Barnes,
Evan J. Barone,
Renee Barrett Arjun,
Arthur Thaddeus Barry,
Diane G. Barry,
Maurice Vincent Barry,
Scott D. Bart,
Carlton W. Bartels,
Guy Barsby,
Ina B. Lassina,
Alicia Christine Burton Bajmajan,
where am I? I'm sorry. Kenneth William Besnicki,
Stephen Joseph Bates,
Paul James Battaglia,
W. David Bauer,
Ivan Louis Caprio Batusta,
Marlon Capito Bautista,
Mark Lawrence Bevis,
Jasper Baxter,
Lorraine B. G. Bay,
Michelle Beal,
Todd M. Beamer,
Paul Frederick Bettini,
Jane S. Beatty,
Alan Anthony Beaven,
Lawrence Ira Beck,
Minette Marie Beckles,
Carl John Bedigian,
Michael Ernest Beekman,
Kevin Joseph Smith,
and my brother, Kevin Patrick York. We will always remember your enduring devotion to family, your unyielding support for your network of friends, your compassion for others that led to your generosity, your animated debates fueled by new knowledge, your wit and humor that helped lighten any mood, and finally, your affection for America and your passion for history. Continue to guide us with your energetic spirit. May God bless you.
and my oldest son, Noel, who was in the second tower. I miss you every day. We all miss you. And thank you for your prayers to help us get by. Thank you.
Maria A. Bear,
Max J. Bilkey,
Yelena Bililovsky,
Nina Patrice Bell,
Debbie S. Bellows,
Stephen Elliott Belson,
Paul M. Benedetti,
Denise Lenore Benedetto,
Brian Craig Bennett,
Eric L. Bennett,
Oliver Bennett,
Margaret L. Benson,
Dominic J. Berardi,
James Patrick Berger,
Stephen Howard Berger,
John P. Bergen,
Alvin Bergson,
Daniel David Bergstein,
Graham Andrew Berkeley,
Michael J. Berkeley,
Donna M. Bernards,
David W. Bernard,
William H. Bernstein,
David M. Beret,
David Shelby Berry,
Joseph John Berry,
William Reed Bethke,
Yanene Beatru,
Timothy D. Betterly,
Carolyn Mayer Bug,
Edward Frank Bea,
Paul Michael Bayer,
Anil Taliram Bahavarni,
Bella J. Buchan,
Shimi D. Biegeleisen,
Peter Alexander Bielfeld,
William G. Biggert,
Ryan Eugene Bilcher,
Mark Bingham,
Carl Vincent Beanie,
and my grandmother, Ruth Sheila Lapin. Grammy Ruth, I wish more than anything that I could have met you. I know that you are a wonderful person, and I love hearing stories about you from my parents. Thank you so much for raising my mom to be the amazing person that she is. I'm very proud to be your namesake. I hope you're watching down on me from heaven. I love you.
and my father, Leonel Jeronimo Morocho Morocho, and my aunt, Blanca Robertina Morocho Morocho. Both of you left a void in our hearts and lives, but we know you are in a better place. We miss you and we love you forever and always. And to my dad, I hope my mom, sisters, and I are making you proud. Not one day goes by that we do not think of you. Just know that your memory will always live on. Thank you.
Gary Eugene Bird,
Joshua David Birnbaum,
George John Bishop,
Chris Romeo Bushundat,
Jeffrey Donald Bittner,
Albert Blewa Blackman Jr.,
Christopher Joseph Blackwell,
Carrie Rosetta Blackburn,
Susan Leigh Blair,
Harry Blanding Jr.,
Janice Lee Blaney,
Craig Michael Blass,
Michael Andrew Bacall,
Jr.,
Michael L. Bocchino,
John Paul Bokey,
Ira Francis Bodley,
Susan M. Bocchino,
Mary Catherine Murphy Bofa,
Bruce Douglas Bohm,
Darren Christopher Bohan,
Nicholas Andrew Bogdan,
Vincent M. Boland Jr.,
Lawrence Francis Boswell,
Alan Bondarenko,
Tori Hamazi Balaki,
Colin Arthur Bonnet,
Andre Bowner Jr.,
Yvonne Lucia Bonamo,
Frank J. Bonamo,
Kelly Ann Booms,
Sean Booker Sr.,
Mary Jane Booth,
Canfield D. Boone,
Christine Ordinabe,
Sherry Ann Bordeaux,
Martin Michael Borashevsky,
Jerry J. Borg,
and my brother Jeffrey Fox. People tell me you're in a better place, and I've always tried real hard to believe that, but I'm not so sure anymore. I'm thinking that here, with your family, is the best place. Like last year when your son Gregory graduated college, you should have been here, in the best place, watching him get his diploma. And then a month later when your daughter Amanda got married, you should have been here, in the best place, walking her down the aisle. And then just 6 months after that, when your other daughter, Jessica, got married, you should have been here, in the best place, walking her down the aisle. Are you in a better place, Jeff? I really hope so, but again, I'm just not so sure anymore. I guess I'll know in 20 or 30 years, so save me a good seat, little brother. We love you. We miss you every day.
Richard Edward Bosco, and my father, Ronald Carl Fazio. Dad, your youngest granddaughter is here today. Reese, you're proudly named after your dad. He had a heart condition, and he loved his Reese's peanut butter cups, and that never stopped him. If he were here today, he would tell you to hold the door for others every chance that you get. Love, strength, and peace to everyone near and far. 143.
Klaus Bota,
Carol Marie Bouchard,
J. Howard Bolton,
Francisco Eligio Bourdieu,
Thomas Harold Bowden Jr.,
Donna M. Bowen,
Kimberly S. Bowers,
Veronique Nicole Bowers,
Larry Bowman,
Sean Edward Bauman Jr.,
Kevin L. Bowser,
Gary R. Bucks,
Gennady Boyarsky,
Pamela Boyce,
Alan P. Boyle,
Michael Boyle,
Alfred J. Braca,
Sandra Canadi Brace,
Kevin Hugh Bracken,
Sandy Wow Bradshaw,
David Brian Brady,
Alexander Braginski,
Nicholas W. Brandamarty,
Daniel Raymond Brandhurst,
David Reed Gamboa Brandhorst,
Michelle Renee Breton,
Patrice Brout,
Lydia Estella Bravo,
Ronald Michael Breitweiser,
Edward A. Brennan III,
Frank H. Brennan,
Michael E. Brennan,
Peter Brennan,
Thomas Moore Brennan,
Daniel J. Brethel,
Gary Lee Bright,
Jonathan Eric Briley,
Mark A. Brisman,
Paul Gary Breisman,
Marion R. Britton,
and my mother, Frances Harrows. Today we remember and honor the victims of families of 9/11. Among those who perished were 450 firemen, policemen, and military first responders. On that day, there was no black, there was no white. For those fallen heroes, all lives mattered. And now we witness the same heroism in those who sacrificed to help the victims of both hurricanes. There was no left, there was no right. For them, all lives matter. Some ask, why does God permit evil? We may never know, but through eyes of faith we can be certain that good can triumph over evil. For just as Jesus said, whatever you do for the least of my brothers and sisters, you do for me. Herein lies our unity. Herein lies the hope of our nation. Happy anniversary, Mom. We miss you. And we ask you to watch over Will, your youngest grandchild, who is enlisted in the military and will be reporting for duty next week. Semper Unitas.
and my sister Gauharoy Kamardinova. We love you, we miss you. You are always in our hearts.
Mark Francis Broadwick.
Herman Charles Broghammer.
Keith A. Broomfield.
Bernard C. Brown II.
Janice J. Louise Brown.
Lloyd Stanford Brown.
Patrick John Brown.
Bettina B. Brown Radburn.
Mark Bruce.
Richard George Bruhert.
Andrew Brunn.
Vincent Edward Brunton.
Ronald Buca.
Brandon J. Buchanan.
Greg J. Buck.
Dennis Buckley.
Nancy Claire Boucher.
Patrick Joseph Booth.
John Edward Balaga Jr.
Stephen Bruce Bunin.
Christopher L. Burford.
Matthew J. Burke.
Thomas Daniel Burke.
William Francis Burke Jr.
Charles F. Burlingame III.
Thomas E. Burnett Jr.
Donald J. Burns.
Kathleen Ann Burns.
Keith James Burns.
John Patrick Burnside.
Arena Buslow,
Milton G. Bustillo,
Thomas M. Butler,
Patrick Dennis Byrne,
Timothy G. Byrne,
Daniel M. Caballero,
Jesus Natali Cabezas,
Lillian Caceres,
Brian Joseph Cashia,
Stephen Dennis Cafiero Jr.,
and to my uncle, Louis Anthony Williams. I can't believe it's already been 16 years, but the one thing you taught me that I kept on going is to be kind to everyone, no matter who they are. And I take that with me everywhere I go. I hope you're looking down on us, and hope to see you, well.
and my aunt Gumati Thakardine. And to Girlie, it's been 16 years. It's been so long and so much has happened, and I don't know what you'd think anymore. But we're trying hard to be what, as a intrepid and vivacious aunt, you were to us. We love you.
Richard Michael Caggiano,
Cecile Maria Cagikla,
John Brett Cahill,
Michael John Cahill,
Scott Walter Cahill,
Thomas Joseph Cahill,
George C. Kane,
Salvatore B. Calabro,
Joseph M. Calandrillo,
Philip V. Calcagno,
Edward Calderon,
Jose O. Calderon Olmedo,
Kenneth Marcus Caldwell,
Dominic E. Calia,
Felix Bobby Caliste,
Francis Joseph Callahan,
Liam Callahan,
Suzanne M. Cali,
Gino Luigi Calvi,
Rocco Camaj,
Michael F. Camarata,
David Odie Campbell,
Jeffrey Thomas Campbell,
Robert Arthur Campbell,
Sandra Patricia Campbell,
Sean Thomas Canavan,
John A. Candela,
Vincent A. Cangelosi,
Stephen J. Cangelosi,
Lisa Bella Canava,
Brian Canisato,
Michael R. Canty,
Louis Anthony Caparici,
Jonathan Neff Capello,
James Christopher Cappers,
Richard Michael Caproni,
Jose Manuel Cardona,
Dennis M. Carey Sr.,
Edward Carlino,
Michael Scott Carlo,
and my uncle William Reed Bethke. We love you and miss you, Uncle Billy.
and my uncle, James V. DeBlaze Jr. Uncle Jimmy, we love you. We all miss you.
David G. Carlone,
Rosemary C. Carlson,
Mark Stephen Carney,
Joyce Ann Carpenetto,
Jeremy Kaz Carrington,
Michael T. Carroll,
Peter J. Carroll,
James Joseph Carson, Jr.,
Christopher Michael Kartzingen,
Angeline C. Carter,
James Marcel Cartier,
Sharon Ann Carver,
Vivian Casaldic,
John Francis Casaza,
Paul Regan Cassio,
Neely Ann Heffernan Casey,
William Joseph Cashman,
Thomas Anthony Casoria,
William Otto Casper,
Alejandro Castaño,
Arcilia Castillo,
Leonard M. Castriano,
Jose Ramon Castro,
William E. Caswell,
Richard G. Cattarelli,
Christopher Sean Caton,
Robert John Caulfield,
Mary Teresa Caulfield,
Judson Cavalier,
Michael Joseph Cawley,
Jason David Kane,
Juan Armando Ceballos,
Marcia G. Cecil Carter,
Jason Michael Cephalou,
Thomas Joseph Selleck,
Anna Mercedes Centeno,
Joni Sesta,
John J. Chada,
Jeffrey Mark Chernoff,
Swarna Chalasani,
and my uncle, Rescue 1 firefighter Gerard Terrence Nevins. We love you and we miss you every day.
and my brother, David Prudencio Lamagne, Port Authority police officer. David, I want to say thank you for being the embodiment of selflessness and bravery that fateful Tuesday, for being a hero. Our country came together that day, and it did not matter what color you were or where you were from. I hope today, as we commemorate the 16th anniversary of 9/11, everyone will stop for a moment and remember all the people who gave their lives that day. Maybe then we can put away our disagreements and become one country again. I love you, David. Continue to watch over our family.
William A. Chalkoff,
Eli Chalu,
Charles Lawrence Chan,
Mandy Chang,
Rosa Maria Chapa,
Mark Lawrence Charette,
David M. Charlebois,
Gregorio Manuel Chavez,
Pedro Francisco Checo,
Douglas Macmillan Cherry,
Stephen Patrick Cherry,
Vernon Paul Cherry,
Nestor Julio Chevalier Jr.,
Swede Joseph Chevalier,
Alexander H. Chiang,
Dorothy J. Chicharo,
Luis Alfonso Chimbo,
Robert Chin,
Eddie Wing Wei Ching,
Nicholas Paul Chiafalo,
John G. Chipura,
Peter A. Churchill,
Catherine Ellen Chirls,
Ki-Young Hee Casey Cho,
Abul K. Chowdhury,
Mohammed Saludin Chowdhury,
Kristen Lael Christophe,
Pamela Chu,
Stephen Paul Chuknik,
Wei Ching Chong,
Christopher Chiafardini,
Alex F. Saccone,
Francis Ann Salente,
Elaine Silo,
Edna Cintron,
Nestor Andre Cintron III,
Robert D. Siri Sr.,
Juan Pablo Cisneros,
Benjamin Keith Clark,
Eugene Clark,
and my father, Christopher Edward Fawnin. You will miss my college graduation this year, but you've inspired me every step of the way.
And my uncle, Marky Marolo, I'm proud to be your namesake.
Gregory Allen Clark,
Manny Leroy Clark,
Sarah M. Clark,
Thomas R. Clark,
Christopher Robert Clark,
Donna Marie Clark,
Michael J. Clark,
Surya Rachel Emma Clark,
Kevin Francis Cleary,
James D. Clear,
Jeffrey W. Cloud,
Susan Marie Klein,
Stephen Coakley,
Jeffrey Allen Cole,
Patricia A. Cody,
Daniel Michael Coffey,
Jason Matthew Coffey,
Florence G. Cohen,
Kevin S. Cohen,
Anthony Joseph Coladonato,
Mark Joseph Caleo,
Stephen J. Caleo,
Christopher Michael Colasanti,
Kevin Nathaniel Colbert,
Michelle P. Colbert,
Keith E. Coleman,
Scott Thomas Coleman,
Terrell Coleman,
Liam Joseph Calhoun,
Robert D. Cullen,
Robert J. Call,
Jean Marie Collin,
John Michael Collins,
Michael L. Collins,
Thomas Joseph Collins,
Joseph Kent Collison,
Jeffrey Dwayne Coleman,
Patricia Malia Kolodner,
Linda M. Cologne,
Saul E. Cologne,
and my father, Ian Schneider. Yo, dude, in your eyes, life was a party. There's no one who laughed louder, loved harder, and cherished it all more than you. Your love of life and passion for everyone you shared it with continues to inspire me stronger than ever 16 years later. I'm so honored to continue your celebration each and every day. We love and miss you always.
and my brothers-in-law, Daniel James Shea and Joseph Patrick Shea. We will never forget your laughter, your light, and your love. May God bless you, and God bless America.
You go.
I think. Ronald Edward Comer, Albert Conde,
Jaime Concepcion, Denise Conley,
Susan P. Conlin,
Margaret Mary Connor,
Cynthia Marie Lease Connolly,
John E. Connolly Jr.,
James Lee Connor,
Jonathan M. Connors,
Kevin Patrick Connors,
Kevin F. Conroy,
Brenda E. Conway,
Dennis Michael Cook,
Helen D. Cook,
Jeffrey W. Coombs,
John A. Cooper,
Julian T. Cooper,
Joseph John Copo Jr.,
Gerard J. Coppola,
Joseph Albert Corbett,
John J. Cochran III,
Alejandro Cordero,
Robert Joseph Cordice,
Ruben D. Correa,
Danny A. Carrera Gutierrez,
Georgine Rose Corrigan,
James J. Corrigan,
Carlos Cortez Rodriguez,
Kevin Michael Cosgrove,
Dolores Marie Costa,
Digna Alexandra Constanza,
Charles Gregory Costello Jr.,
Michael S. Costello,
Asia S. Cottom,
Conroy Kofi Katoy Sr.,
Martin John Coughlin,
John J. Coughlin,
Timothy J. Coughlin,
James E. Cove,
and my grandfather Horace Robert Passananti. Even though I never met you, I know you're watching me from heaven.
and my son, Daryl LaRon McKinney, which I lovingly call Pop. Pop, we miss you. You're forever in our hearts. And every day that goes by, I think of you, and I know you're there and you're not alone. Your beautiful Angie is with you, and I have solace for that because you guys are together. Thank God.
Andre Colin Cox,
Frederick John Cox,
James Raymond Coyle,
Michelle Koya Yulo,
Christopher Seaton Kramer,
Eric A. Cranford,
Denise Elizabeth Krant,
James Leslie Crawford Jr.,
Robert James Crawford,
Tara Kathleen Kramer,
Joanne Mary Cregan,
Lucia Crafasi,
John A. Creasy,
Daniel Hal Kreisman,
Dennis A. Cross,
Kevin R. Crotty,
Thomas G. Crotty,
John R. Crow,
Wells Remy Crowther,
Robert L. Kirkashank,
John Robert Cruz,
Grace Allegra Cue,
Kenneth John Kubis,
Francisco Cruz Cubero,
Thelma Cuccinello,
Richard
Joseph Kudina,
Neil James Cudmore,
Thomas Patrick Cullen III,
Joan Culligan,
Joyce Rose Cummings,
Brian Thomas Cummings,
Michael Joseph Cunningham,
Robert
Lawrence Demon Curea,
Paul Darius Corello,
Patrick Joseph Caravan,
Beverly L. Curry,
Andrew Peter Charles Curry Green,
Michael Sean Curtin,
Patricia Cushings.
and my cousin, Port Authority Police Officer Christopher Charles Amoroso. Chris, we miss you and love you and thank you for your service and the bravery that you showed that day. I don't think I can ever match it. I love you and miss you, and so is the family.
And to my uncle, Stephen Gerard Hoffman, even though our time together on this earth was cut short, I know you are with me when I wear the number 43 on the fields, at the beach when the waves are perfect for surfing, and most importantly, in my heart each and every day. We love and miss you always, and I know we'll see you again.
Gavin Kushney,
Khalib Aaron Dack,
Carlos S. DaCosta,
Jason M. Dahl,
Brian Paul Dale,
John Delara,
Vincent Gerard Damadeo,
Thomas A. Damaskinos,
Jack L. D'Ambrosi Jr.,
Janine Damiani Jones,
Manuel Joao Demota,
Patrick W. Danahy,
Mary D'Antonio,
Vincent G. Dans,
Dwight Donald Darcy,
Elizabeth Ann Darling,
Annette Andrea Dadaram,
Edward A. Diatri,
Michael D. Dioria,
Lawrence Davidson,
Michael Allen Davidson,
Scott Matthew Davidson,
Titus Davidson,
Nurka Davila,
Ada M. Davis,
Clinton Davis Sr.,
Wayne Terrill Davis,
Anthony Richard Dawson,
Calvin Dawson,
Edward James Day,
William Thomas Dean,
Robert J. DeAngelis Jr.,
Thomas Patrick DeAngelis,
Dorothy Alma D. Arujo,
Ana Gloria Pocasangre de Barrera,
Tara E. Debick,
James D. Debonair,
Anna M. Devon,
James V. de Blasi Jr.,
Jesrel Malabiak D. Chavez,
and my cousins and dear friends, Judy Hazel Santillan Fernandez and Maria Teresa Concepcion Santillan. Knowing you are together warms my heart every day. We all miss you very much and will forever be in our thoughts and our prayers.
and my dear wife, Carol Keys Dimmitz, your daughter, Anne, and I miss you very much, as does your family. Thank you.
Paul DeCola,
Gerald F. DeConto,
Simon Marash Dedvukash,
Jason Christopher DeFazio,
David A. DeFeo,
Jennifer D. Jesus,
Monique Efe de Jesus,
Nareda de Jesus,
Emmy de la Peña,
Donald Arthur de la Penha,
Azucena Marie de la Torre,
Vito Joseph DeLeo,
Daniel Ann DeLay,
Andrea Della Bella,
Joseph A. Della Petra,
Palmina Della Gotti,
Colleen Ann Delacre,
Joseph DeLuca,
Manuel Del Valle Jr.,
Francis Albert DiMartini,
Anthony Damas,
Martin N. DeMeo,
Francis Deming,
Carol Keys Demitz,
Kevin Dennis,
Thomas Francis Dennis Sr.,
Jean C. De Palma,
Jose Nicolas De Pena,
Robert John Durrani,
Michael De Rienzo,
David Paul De Rubio,
Jamal Leguest De Santos,
Christian Louise Desmond,
Edward De Simone III,
Andrew De Desperito,
Michael Jude Desposito,
Cindy Ann Duell,
Melanie Louise DeVere,
Jerry DeVito,
Robert P. Devitt Jr.,
and my husband Peter Mutos, and thank you to all who serve to keep America safe.
and my brother-in-law Thomas Swift. Tommy, we love you, we miss you, and we will never forget you.
Dennis Lawrence Devlin,
Gerard P. Dewan,
Suleimanali Kasamali Danani,
Michael Louis D'Agostino,
Matthew Diaz,
Nancy Diaz,
Abdulio Ruiz Diaz,
Michael A. Diaz Piedra III,
Judith Berquise Diaz Sierra,
Patricia Florence Di Chiaro,
Rodney Dickens,
Jerry D. Dickerson,
Joseph Dermoit Dickey Jr.,
Lawrence Patrick Dickinson,
Michael D. Deal,
John DeFato,
Vincent Francis DeFazio,
Carl Anthony DeFranco,
Donald Joseph DeFranco,
John DiGiovanni,
Eddie A. Dillard,
Deborah Ann DiMartino,
David DeMeglio,
Stephen Patrick Demino,
William John Dimling,
Marissa DiNardo Shorp,
Christopher Moore Dincuff,
Jeffrey Mark Dingle,
Rena Sam Deneau,
Anthony Donacio,
George DiPasquale,
Joseph D. Pilato,
Douglas Frank DiStefano,
Donald Americo DiTullio,
Ramsey A. Dewani,
Johnny Doctor Jr.,
John Joseph Doherty,
Melissa Candida Doy,
Brendan Dolan,
Robert E. Dolan Jr.,
and my father, Calixto Anaya Jr. My hero and my light throughout the darkness that this has caused me.
and my father, Walter A. Matuza Jr. We love you, we miss you, we'll never forget you, and I'm proud to carry your smile through every door I walk through. Thank you.
Neil Matthew Dollard,
James Domenico,
Benilda Pasqua Domingo,
Alberto Dominguez,
Carlos Dominguez,
Jerome Mark Patrick Dominguez,
Kevin W. Donnelly,
Jacqueline Donovan,
William H. Donovan,
Stephen Scott Dorff,
Thomas Dowd,
Kevin Christopher Dowdell,
Mary Yolanda Dowling,
Raymond Matthew Downey Sr.,
Frank Joseph Doyle,
Patrick Joseph Driscoll,
Randall L. Drake,
Charles A. Droz III,
Stephen Patrick Driscoll,
Luke A. Dudek,
Myrna A. Duarte,
Gerard J. Duffy,
Christopher Michael Duffy,
Thomas W. Duffy,
Michael Joseph Duffy,
Jackie Saig Doug,
Antoinette Duger,
Patrick Dunn,
Sarif Ducat,
Christopher Joseph Dunn,
Felicia Gail Dunn Jones,
Patrick Thomas Dwyer,
Richard Anthony Dunstan,
John Bruce Eagleson,
Joseph Anthony Ecobachi,
Robert Douglas Eaton,
Edward T. Earhart,
Margaret Ruth Eckerman,
Dean Philip Eberling,
and my brother Alejandro Castaño. Your niece wrote something for you. A life like yours, not many have seen, but you lived your life like one of the crazy ones that I saw every day as a blessing. You lived life for love and for your family. You were there for every smile, every hardship. Sometimes I see you in others and I believe that you just saying hi. I speak to you constantly because I know you're listening. You had different hats to fill. Being a father, a brother, and an uncle, a son. But you played every part with no effort. It was like you were made for each of those roles. Another year that you are not here, but it's another year that you are at peace. The love that you showed cannot be explained, and each word of wisdom that you gave is still used to this day. We miss you, and I love you. Every year is hard. Your son, you should be very proud of him. He's doing awesome. And mommy and dad, they miss you so much.
and my cousin, Tanyelle F. McDay. I am 16 and I was exactly 11 months old when the attacks took place. Even though I don't remember you holding me when I was a baby, I will never forget you and the memories our family share about you. I will continue to remember and never forget. I know you are enjoying heaven with your mom, granddaddy, Aunt Janice, and Aunt Dora. We love you, Tootie.
Paul Robert Ekna,
Konstantin Economos,
Barbara G. Edwards,
Dennis Michael Edwards,
Michael Hardy Edwards,
Christine Egan,
Lisa Aaron Egan,
Martin J. Egan Jr.,
Michael Egan,
Samantha Martin Egan,
Carol Eggert,
Lisa Karen Ehrlich,
John Ernst Eichler,
Eric Adam Eisenberg,
Daphne Ferlinda Elder,
Michael J. Alferez,
Mark Joseph Ellis,
Valerie Silver Ellis,
Albert Alfie William Elmary,
Robert R. Elsith,
Edgar Hendricks Emery Jr.,
Doris Suk Yuen Ang,
Christopher Epps,
Ulf Ram Erickson,
Sarah Ali Escarcega,
William John Irwin,
Fanny Espinosa,
Jose Espinal,
Bridget Ann Esposito,
Billy Scoop Esposito,
Michael A. Esposito,
Francis Esposito,
Sadie Et,
Ruben Esquilin Jr.,
Brian Evans, Eric Brian Evans, sorry,
Barbara G. Etzold,
Meredith Emily June Ewert,
Robert Edward Evans,
and my grandfather, William Valcarcel. I know you're watching over me. I know you're watching over my sisters, and I hope I'm making you proud every day. Please watch over my little cousins too, and I just want you to know that I'm doing everything I can to make you proud. I love you.
Catherine K. Fagan, and my beloved brother David. David, thank you for all the love and laughter, your family, your friends. We all miss you terribly. We'll honor you every day.
Patricia Mary Fagan.
Ivan Carrillos Fairbanks Barbosa.
Keith George Fairbairn.
Sandra Fajardo Smith.
Charles S. Falkenberg.
Dana Falkenberg.
Zoe Falkenberg.
Jamie L. Fallon.
William F. Fallon.
William Lawrence Fallon Jr.
Anthony J. Fallone Jr.
Dolores Bridget Finelli.
Robert John Fangman.
John Joseph Fanning.
Kathleen Ann Farragher.
Thomas James Farino.
Nancy C. Dolaziski Farley.
Paige Marie Farley Hackle.
Elizabeth Ann Farmer.
Douglas John Farnham.
John Gerard Farrell.
John W. Farrell.
Terrence Patrick Farrell.
Joseph D. Farrelly.
Thomas Patrick Farrelly.
Syed Abdul Fattah.
Christopher Edward Founan.
Wendy R. Faulkner.
Shannon Marie Fava.
Bernard D. Favuza.
Robert Fazio Jr.
Ronald Carl Fazio Sr.
William N. M. Feehan.
Francis Jude Feely.
Garth Erin Feeney.
Sean Bernard Fagan.
Lee S. Failing.
Peter Adam Fiedelberg.
Alan D. Feinberg.
Rosa Maria Feliciano.
And I just want to read a little something for everybody. This is from Rose M. De Leon. It's in our hearts. We thought of you with love today, but that is nothing new. We thought about you yesterday and days before that too. We think of you in silence. We often speak your name. Now all we have is memories and your picture in a frame. Your memory is our keepsake, with which we'll never part. God has you in his keeping. We have you in our heart. To my beautiful sister, Deborah Ann DiMartino, we love you, and we always hold you close and with us always.
And my cousin, firefighter Michael Edward Roberts, we miss you and we love you every day.
Edward P. Felt. Edward Thomas Fergus Jr. George J. Ferguson III. J. Joseph Ferguson. Henry Fernandez. Judy Hazel Santillan Fernandez. Julio Fernandez. Elisa Giselle Farina. Anne Marie Solarin Ferreira. Robert John Ferris. David Francis Perugio. Louis V. Corsini Jr. Michael David Ferrugio. Bradley James Fetchett. Jennifer Louise Fialco. Kristen Nicole Fidel. Amelia V. Fields. Samuel Fields. Alexander Milan Filipov. Michael Bradley Finnegan,
Timothy J. Finity,
Michael C. Fiore,
Stephen J. Fiorelli,
Paul M. Fiore,
John B. Fiorito,
John R. Fisher,
Andrew Fisher,
Bennett Lawson Fisher,
Gerald P. Fisher,
John Roger Fisher,
Thomas J. Fisher,
Lucy A. Fishman,
Ryan D. Fitzgerald,
Thomas James Fitzpatrick,
Richard P. Fitzsimmons,
Salvatore Fume Fredo,
Darlene E. Flagg,
Wilson F. Flagg,
Christina Donovan Flannery,
Eileen Fetcher,
and my cousin Stephen J. Fiorelli. Your life was a blessing, your memory a treasure. You are loved beyond words and missed beyond measure.
and my son, firefighter Lee S. Failing, Engine 235. Lee, people have called you a hero, and I believe that you were. But what I've come to realize is that you actually gave, on that day, your greatest gift of kindness and charity. You put all else aside that day, your wife, your daughter, your unborn daughter, your family and friends. You put that all aside to help another. Blessed is the man who lays down his life for another. That selfless act of kindness comes from love. And where there is love, there is God, because God is love. And so, Lee, when I put my head down at night, I rest easy, knowing that you are surrounded by God's love. And I thank my sweet Jesus and his beautiful blessed mother for helping me to walk through my journey. And until we see each other again, Lee, may the good Lord bless and keep you, my beautiful boy.
Andre G. Fletcher,
Carl M. Flickinger,
Matthew M. Flacco,
John Joseph Florio,
Joseph Walken Flounders,
Carol Ann Flyzik,
David Fodor,
Michael N. Fodor,
Stephen Mark Fogel,
Thomas J. Foley,
Jane C. Folger,
David J. Fontana,
Min Fu,
Delrose E. Forbes Chetham,
Godwin Ford,
Donald A. Foreman,
Christopher Hugh Forsyth,
Claudia Alicia Foster,
Noel John Forster,
Sandra N. Foster,
Anna Fostoris,
Robert Joseph Forti,
Jeffrey Fox,
Virginia Elizabeth Fox,
Pauline Francis,
Virgin Lucy Francis,
Gary J. Frank,
Morton H. Frank,
Peter Christopher Frank,
Colleen L. Frazier,
Richard K. Fraser,
Kevin J. Frawley,
Clyde Frazier Jr.,
Lillian Inez Frederick,
Andrew Fredericks,
Tamitha Freeman,
Brett Owen Freeman,
Peter L. Frond,
Arlene Eva Freed, and my husband, Alan W. Friedlander, dad to Stephen and Laura, and now grandfather to Matthew and Andrew.
and my father, Jonathan R. Holman. Your devotion to God and your family was a testament to your faith in life and in death. I love you and I miss you.
Andrew Keith Friedman,
Paul J. Friedman,
Greg J. Froner,
Lisa Ann Frost,
Peter Christian Fry,
Clement A. Fumando,
Stephen Elliott Furman,
Paul James Formato,
Carlton Douglas B. Fife,
Frederick Neil Gabler,
Richard Peter Gabriel,
Richard S. Gabriel,
James Andrew Gadiel,
Pamela Lee Gaff,
Irvin Vincent Galliard,
Deanna Lynn Galante,
Grace Catherine Galante,
Anthony Edward Gallagher,
Daniel James Gallagher,
John Patrick Gallagher,
Lourdes J. Galletti,
Kono E. Gallo,
Vincent Gallucci,
Thomas E. Galvin,
Giovanni Galetta Gambale,
Thomas Gambino Jr.,
Gian F. Gamboa,
Ronald L. Gamboa,
FDNY Chief of Department Peter James Gansey Jr.,
Michael Gann,
FDNY Lieutenant Charles William Garbarini,
Andrew Sonny Garcia,
Cesar R. Garcia,
David Garcia,
Jorge Luis Maron Garcia,
Juan Garcia,
Marlon Del Carmen Garcia,
Christopher Samuel Gardner,
Douglas Benjamin Gardner,
Harvey Joseph Gardner III,
and my brother, firefighter Joseph Patrick Henry, FDNY Ladder 21. Joey, it's hard to believe that you were only a 25-year-old kid on that horrific day, but you selflessly ran into the towers to help others. We miss you and love you always. You are a true hero.
and my brother Gerard F. Rousey. 16 years have passed, and there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think of you and miss you so much. My angel, my rock, my amazing brother. You will always be remembered as a gentle soul with that special smile that touched our hearts and the hearts of many. I love you, Jerry, my guardian angel. You left footprints in my mind, my heart, and my soul. And remembering all those whose spirit shines in the darkness.
Jeffrey Brian Gardner,
Thomas A. Gardner,
William Arthur Gardner,
Frank Garfey,
Rocco Nino Gargiano,
James M. Gartenberg,
Matthew David Garvey,
Bruce Gary,
Boyd Allen Gatton,
Donald Richard Gavigan Jr.,
Peter Allen Gay,
Terrence D. Gazzani,
Gary Paul Geidel,
Paul Hamilton Geyer,
Julie M. Geis,
Peter Gerard Gelinas,
Stephen Paul Geller,
Howard G. Gelling Jr.,
Peter Victor Genco Jr.,
Stephen Gregory Genovese,
Alan Alain Gentile,
Linda M. George,
Edward F. Garrity,
Suzanne Garrity,
Ralph Gerhart,
Robert Gerlich,
Dennis P. Germain,
Marina Romanovna Gertzberg,
Susan M. Getzendonner,
Lawrence D. Getzfred,
James G. Gayer,
Cortez Gee,
Joseph M. Giacone,
Vincent Francis Giamona,
Deborah Lynn Gibbon,
James Andrew Giverson,
Brenda C. Gibson,
Craig Neil Gibson,
Ronnie E. Geese,
Andrew Clive Gilbert,
and my sister-in-law, Judith Florence Hoffmiller. Judy, be so proud of your son, David, and your nieces, Jacqueline and Lindsay, and your 3 beautiful great nephews. Luke, Richard, John Robert, and Peter Anthony. I call them Mo, Larry, and Curly. You'd get a kick out of them. We love you, and your brother misses you.
And for my father, Mark Caleo, my uncle, Stephen Caleo, and my uncle, Thomas Pedicini. I stand here as a reminder to the other families of 9/11 and to the world that no matter how dark moments in life can get, that there is light ahead if you just choose hope. Thank you.
Timothy Paul Gilbert.
Paul Stewart Gilby.
Paul John Gill.
Mark Y. Giles.
Evan Hunter Gillette.
Ronald Lawrence Gilligan.
Rodney C. Gillis.
Laura Gilly.
John F. Ginley.
Donna Marie Giordano.
Jeffrey John Giordano.
John Giordano.
Stephen A. Giorgetti.
Martin Giovinazzo.
Kumkum Girolamo.
Salvatore Gito.
Cynthia Giuliano.
Mon Jean Balaj.
Diane Gladstone.
Keith Alexander Glasgow.
Thomas Irwin Glasser.
Edmund Glazer.
Harry Glenn.
Barry H. Glick.
Jeremy Logan Glick.
Stephen Glick.
John T. Nazo.
William Robert Godshock.
Michael Gali Ormella.
Brian F. Goldberg.
Jeffrey G. Goldflam.
Michelle Goldstein.
Monica Goldstein.
Stephen Ian Goldstein.
Ronald F. Golinsky.
Andrew H. Golkin.
Dennis James Gomes.
Enrique Antonio Gomez.
Jose Bienvenido Gomez.
Manuel Gomez.
And my grandfather, Adele Agabi Zachary. We love you and we miss you. You'll always be in our hearts until the end of time.
And my brother, John James Tipping II, firefighter, Ladder 4, Engine 54, Battalion 9. I am honored to have read the names of your loved ones, and I continue to pray that we all find some peace in our lifetime. I pray for all the families that have lost a loved one too soon. They will never be forgotten. Our thoughts and concerns are with the people affected by this crazy, powerful storm. God bless and be New York strong. And John, keep an eye on us. We love and miss you. Your sister, Maureen.
Wielder Alfredo Gomez.
Janine Nicole Gonzalez.
Mauricio Gonzalez.
Rosa J. Gonzalez.
Lynn Catherine Goodchild.
Calvin Joseph Gooding.
Peter Morgan Goodrich.
Harry Goody.
Kiran Kumar Reddy Gopu.
Catherine C. Garayeb.
Lisa Fenn Gordonstein.
Corrine Gordon.
Sebastian Gorky.
Kieran Joseph Gorman.
Thomas Edward Gorman.
Michael Edward Gould.
O. Kristen Osterholm White Gould.
Douglas Allen Goel.
Yuji Goya,
John Richard Grabowski,
Christopher Michael Grady,
Edwin J. Graff III,
David Martin Grafman,
Gilbert Franco Granados,
Lauren Catuzzi Grandcalis,
Elvira Granito,
Winston Arthur Grant,
Christopher S. Gray,
Ian J. Gray,
James Michael Gray,
Tara McLeod Gray,
John M. Grazioso,
Timothy George Grazioso,
Derek Arthur Green,
Wade B. Green,
Wanda Anita Green,
Elaine Myra Greenberg,
Donald Freeman Green,
Gail R. Green,
James Arthur Greenleaf Jr.,
and my cousin Ann Nicole Nelson, whose love for life continues to be cherished through the people who love her.
and my grandfather, Captain, FDNY Captain James J. Corrigan, who we miss every day and love.
Eileen Marcia Greenstein,
Elizabeth Martin Gregg,
Denise Marie Gregory,
Donald H. Gregory,
Florence Moran Gregory,
Pedro Grahan,
John Michael Griffin,
Tawana Sherry Griffin,
Joan Donna Griffith,
Warren Grifka,
Ramon B. Grijalvo,
Joseph F. Grillo,
David Joseph Grimner,
Francis Edward Grogan,
Linda Gronlin,
Kenneth George Gruzales,
Joseph Grijelak,
Matthew James Grijamalski,
Joseph Gashar,
Laming Gu,
Richard J. Wadavno,
Jose A. Guadalupe,
Cindy Juan Yu Guan,
Jeffrey E. Guja,
Joseph P. Gullickson,
Babita Girjumati Guman,
Douglas Brian Gurian,
Janet Ruth Gustafson,
Philip T. Guza,
Barbara Guzardo,
Peter Mark Ulivari,
Gary Robert Haig,
Andrea Lynn Haberman,
Barbara Mary Habib,
Philip Hensler,
Nezam A. Hafiz,
Karen Elizabeth Haggerty,
Stephen Michael Haggis,
Mary Lou Haig,
David Halderman,
and my Uncle John, Patrick Gallagher. I love and miss you.
and my uncle Michael S. Baksh, whom I was named after. We love you and we miss you very much.
Miley Raquel Hale,
Diane Hale McKinsey,
Richard B. Hall.
Stanley R. Hall.
Vaswald George Hall.
Robert J. Halligan.
Vincent Gerard Halloran.
Carolyn B. Hallman.
James Douglas Havortson.
Mohammed Salman Hamdani.
Felicia Hamilton.
Robert W. Hamilton.
Carl Max Hammond Jr.
Frederick K. Hahn.
Christopher James Hanley.
Sean S. Hanley.
Valerie Joan Hanna.
Thomas Paul Hannafin.
Kevin James Hannaford Sr.
Michael Lawrence Hannon.
Dana Ray Hannon.
Christine Lee Hansen.
Peter Burton Hansen.
Sue Kim Hansen.
Vasilius G. Haramis.
James A. Harron.
Gerald Francis Hardacre.
Jeffrey Pike Hardy.
T.J. Hargrave.
Daniel Edward Harlan.
Francis Harris.
Harvey L. Harrell.
Stephen G. Harrell.
Melissa Harrington Hughes.
Aisha Han Harris.
Stuart D. Harris.
John Patrick Hart.
Eric Hartono.
John Clinton Hartz.
Eric Harvey.
And my brother-in-law, my friend, wingman, sailor, fellow sailor, Oleg D. Wengerchuk, who in our mind's eye is frozen in time as a young man and who this day welcomed his first grandchild, Bryce Oleg Wengerchuk, his namesake. Your friends and family miss you, Oleg, but we all feel blessed and young again when we see you in your grandson's face.
And my mother, Barbara P. Walsh. 16 years have come and gone, and you have left very big footprints to fill, Mom. We will continue as a family to plan, celebrate, and go forward. Though very difficult without you, we know it's what you have wanted. So we continue to persevere to honor you, Mom. You are a dear wife, mother, grandmother, sister, aunt, and friend. Your grandbabies would make you so proud, Mom. We miss you and love you always. God bless America.
Peter Paul Hashim.
Thomas Theodore Haskell Jr.
Timothy Sean Haskell.
Joseph John Hassan III.
Leonard W. Hatton Jr.
Terence S. Hatton.
Michael Helmut Hobb.
Timothy Aaron Haviland.
Donald G. Havlish Jr.
Anthony Maurice Hawkins.
Nobuhiro Hayatsu.
James Edward Hayden.
Robert J. Hayes.
Philip T. Hayes, retired.
W. Ward Haynes.
Scott Jordan Hazelcorn.
Michael K. Healy.
Roberta B. Heber.
Charles Francis Xavier Heron.
John F. Heffernan.
Michelle M. Heidenberger.
Sheila M. S. Hine.
H. Joseph Heller Jr.
Joanne L. Helterbridle.
Ronald John Hemingway.
Mark F. Henscott.
Ronnie Lee Henderson.
Brian Hennessy.
Edward R. Hennessy Jr.
Michelle Marie Henrique.
Joseph Patrick Henry.
William L. Henry Jr.
Katharina Henry Robinson.
John Christopher Henwood.
Robert Allen Hepburn.
Mary Herencia.
Lindsay C. Harkness III,
Harvey Robert Hermer,
Noberto Hernandez,
Raul Hernandez,
and my beautiful big brother, Michael Joseph Cunningham, forever loved. Rest well, Michael.
and my brother-in-law Bernard Petronico. We love you, we miss you, and we will never forget.
Gary Harold,
Jeffrey Allen Hirsch,
Thomas J. Hetzel,
Leon Bernard Hayward, MC Sundance,
Brian Christopher Hickey,
Enemencio Dario Hidalgo Cedeno,
Timothy Brian Higgins,
Robert D. W. Higley II,
Todd Russell Hill,
Clara Victorine Hines,
Neil O. Hines,
Mark Hindi,
Katsuyuki Hirai,
Heather Malia Ho,
Tara Yvette Hobbs,
Thomas Anderson Hobbs,
James J. Hoban,
Robert Wayne Hobson III,
Dewan Hodges,
Ronald G. Horner,
Patrick A. Hoey,
John A. Hoffer,
Marcia Hoffman,
Stephen Gerard Hoffman,
Frederick Joseph Hoffman,
Michelle L. Hoffman,
Judith Florence Hoffmiller,
Wallace Cole Hogan Jr.,
Thomas Warren Holwick Jr.,
Jonathan R. Homan,
Cora Hidalgo Holland,
John Holland,
Joseph F. Holland,
Jimmy I. Hawley,
Elizabeth Holmes,
Thomas P. Holohan,
Herbert Wilson Homer,
Leroy W. Homer Jr.,
Bradley V. Horn,
James P. Hopper,
and my cousin Richard James Stadelberger, son, husband, father, cousin, friend, Vietnam veteran, and the real-life Atticus Finch. Not a day goes by that our hearts don't hurt. Watch over our first responders and the members of our military, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand.
and my cousin Carol Ann Flyzik. On 9/11, our Carol was strong, brave, and full of courage. Not a day, a week, or a year goes by where you, your smile, and your laugh are not missed. May you keep looking down upon us, keep us safe, and keep us Flyzik strong.
Montgomery McCullough Horde,
Michael Joseph Horn,
Matthew Douglas Horning,
Robert L. Horojo Jr.,
Michael Robert Horrocks,
Aaron Horwitz,
Charles J. Houston,
Uhuru G. Houston,
Angela M. Houts,
George Gerard Howard,
Brady K. Howell,
Michael C. Howell,
Stephen Leon Howell,
Jennifer L. Howley,
Milagros Pramada,
Marion R. Frijak,
Stephen Hudgko Jr.,
Chris Robert Hughes,
Paul Rexford Hughes,
Robert T. Hughes Jr.,
Thomas F. Hughes Jr.,
Timothy Robert Hughes,
Susan Huey,
Lamar Demetrius Hulse,
John Nicholas Humbert Jr.,
William Christopher Hunt,
Kathleen Ann Hunt Casey,
Joseph Gerard Hunter,
Peggy M. Hurt,
Robert R. Husa,
Stephen N. Highland Jr.,
Robert J. Himmel,
Thomas Edward Hines,
Zutu Ibis,
Joseph Anthony Iannelli,
Michael Patrick Eichen,
Jonathan Lee Ielpi,
Frederick J. Ill Jr.,
Daniel Ilkanayev,
Joseph Anthony Iannelli,
and my godfather and uncle, Richard S. Gabriel. You're always in our hearts. You kept the whole family laughing and smiling, and every time I see sunflowers, I think of you. I brought them here today. And I just want to thank all first responders, including those who died trying to save his and everyone else's lives, but also those in the path of the storm now battering my home state of Florida, and those who very quietly and selflessly put their lives on the line every day to keep us safe. Thank you.
and my uncle, George Gerard Howard. We love you, we miss you, and we will always remember you.
Abraham Nathaniel Ilowitz,
Anthony P. Infante Jr.,
Luis S. Inglaterra,
Christopher Noble Ingrazia,
Paul Inella,
Stephanie Veronica Irby,
Douglas Jason Eargang,
Kristen Irvine Ryan,
Todd Antion Isaac,
Eric Hans Isternbranston,
Taizo Ishikawa,
Walid Joseph Iskandar,
Aram Iskandarian Jr.,
John F. Iskian,
Kazushige Itu,
Alexander Valerievich Ivanstov,
Lacey Bernard Ivory,
Virginia May Jablonski,
Brian C. Jack,
Brooke Alexandra Jackman,
Aaron Jeremy Jacobs,
Ariel Lewis Jacobs,
Jason Kyle Jacobs,
Michael G. Jacobs,
Stephen A. Jacobson,
Stephen D. Jacoby,
Ricknott Jargonaut,
Jake Dennis Jacoda,
Udvir S. Jane,
Maria Jacobiak,
Robert Adrian Jalbert,
Ernest James,
Griselda E. James,
Mark Stephen Jardine,
Amy Nicole Jarrett,
Muhammadu Jawara,
Francois Jean-Pierre,
Maxima Jean-Pierre,
Paul Edward Jeffers,
John Charles Jenkins,
and my father, Jeffrey G. Latouche. It's been 16 years, but it still feels like yesterday. I just want to tell you that we miss you and we all love you.
and to my aunt, Azucena Maria de la Torre, on behalf of the La Torre family, the Blasio family, and the Viteri family, we all love you and we all miss you.
Joseph Jenkins Jr.,
Alan Keith Jensen,
Prem Nath Jarath,
Farah Judy,
Weeder Jian,
Eliza Jimenez Jr.,
Luis Jimenez Jr.,
Charles Gregory John,
Nicholas John,
Dennis M. Johnson,
LaShawna Johnson,
Scott Michael Johnson,
William R. Johnston,
Allison Hortzman Jones,
Arthur Joseph Jones III,
Brian Leander Jones,
Charles Edward Jones,
Christopher D. Jones,
Donald T. Jones II,
Donald W. Jones,
Judith Lauder Jones,
Linda Jones,
Mary S. Jones,
Andrew Brian Jordan Sr.,
Robert Thomas Jordan,
Albert Gunnis Joseph,
Ingeborg Joseph,
Carl Henry Joseph,
Stephen Joseph,
Jane Eileen Josiah,
Anthony Jovic,
Angel L. Juarbi Jr.,
Karen Sue Juday,
Ann C. Judge,
Michael F. Judge,
Paul William Jurgens,
Thomas Edward Jurgens,
Shashikiran Lakshimakantha Kadaba,
Gavkoroy Kamardanova,
Sherry Kendall,
and my beloved brother, Patrick Joseph Busey. On behalf of the Busey, Morrissey, Doherty, and Whalen families, we would like to say to all the first responders and the men and women of our armed forces risking and sacrificing their lives for our freedoms, thank you. We will never forget, we will never forgive. God bless America.
and to my brother-in-law, my wife Eileen's only big brother, Reuben Esquilin Jr., an extremely generous man who volunteered on so many sports teams as a coach that the family lost track. That back in 1993, he helped everyone or so many people get out of the building, and I am certain that's exactly what he did in 2001. Para nuestra familia en Florida and Texas, estamos contigo. God bless you, and God bless these United States of America.
Howard Lee Kane,
Jennifer Lynn Kane,
Vincent D. Kane,
June Ku Kang,
Sheldon Robert Cantor,
Deborah H. Kaplan,
Robin Lynn Kaplan,
Alvin Peter Kappelman Jr.,
Charles H. Karcheski,
William A. Carnes,
Douglas Jean Karpiloff,
Charles L. Casper,
Andrew K. Cates,
John A. Katsimatidis,
Robert Michael Colfers,
Don Jerome Kauth Jr.,
Hidea Kawauchi,
Edward T. Keene,
Richard M. Keene,
Lisa Yvonne Carney Griffin,
Carol Ann Kiesler,
Barbara A. Keating,
Paul Hanlon Keating,
Leo Russell Keene III,
Brenda Kegler,
Chandler Raymond Keller,
Joseph John Keller,
Peter R. Kellerman,
Joseph P. Kellett,
Frederick H. Kelly III,
James Joseph Kelly,
Joseph A. Kelly,
Maurice P. Kelly,
Richard John Kelly Jr.,
Thomas Michael Kelly,
Thomas Richard Kelly,
Thomas W. Kelly,
Timothy Colin Kelly,
William Hill Kelly Jr.,
Robert Clinton Kennedy,
and my uncle and aunt, Noral H. Mia and Shaquila Yasmin. We miss you and take care of grandfather for us. You'd be both proud of all your nieces and nephews. We love you and miss you dearly.
and my uncle Richard Joseph Cadena. Uncle Richie, we love you and miss you every day.
Thomas J. Kennedy,
Yvonne E. Kennedy,
John Richard Keohane,
Ralph Francis Kershaw,
Ronald T. Kerwin,
Howard L. Kestenbaum,
Douglas D. Ketchum,
Ruth Ellen Kettler,
Boris Khalif,
Norma Cruz Khan,
Sarah Khan,
Taimur Faraz Khan,
Rahesh Khandelwal,
Saleh Ku,
Michael Vernon Kiefer,
Satoshi Kiku Chihara,
Andrew J. Hoon Kim,
Lawrence Don Kim,
Mary Jo Kimmelman,
Heinrich Kimmig,
Karen Ann Kincaid,
Amy R. King,
Andrew M. King,
Lucille Teresa King,
Robert King Jr.,
Lisa King Johnson,
Brian K. Kinney,
Takashi Kinoshita,
Chris Michael Kirby,
Robert Kirkpatrick,
Howard Barry Kirschbaum,
Glenn Davis Kerwin, Helen,
Chris Michael Kirby,
Richard Joseph Clares.
okay,
You missed.
I know. Helen Crossan Kittle, where am I? Oh. Peter Anton Klein,
Alan David Kleinberg,
Karen Joyce Klitzman,
Ronald Philip Klepfer,
Stephen A. Knapp,
Eugenie Niazev,
and my son, Paul Robert Eckner. Paul, you will always be 28, and your spirit lives on forever in our hearts. We love and miss you, Mom and Dad.
and my father, Kevin Joseph Smith, along with the 18 others he was with. All came from the same house in Queens, all again never to be seen. It's true heroes you'll find that died from this odious crime. Up the stairs they climbed, helping those who fell behind. It had to be hectic and loud, moving against the surge of the crowd. Their passion was their desire to save lives and put out that fire. So they went in with no fear, because the buildings they wanted clear. But then they came down, crumbling to the ground. His body was never found. So I'll forever say his name loud, and I'll forever say his name proud. Kevin Joseph Smith, gone but not forgotten.
That was wonderful. Wonderful.
Andrew James Knox,
Thomas Patrick Knox,
Rebecca Lee Kabori,
Deborah A. Kobus,
Gary Edward Keckler,
Frank J. Kostner,
Ryan Kohart,
Vanessa Lynn Kibalo-Tolpak,
Irina Kolfakova,
Suzanne Rose Kondratenko,
Abdullah Kone,
Bon Siok Ku,
Dorata Kapitsko,
Scott Michael Kapitko,
Bohan George Kostic,
Danielle Kasulis,
David P. Kavalchin,
John J. Trend,
William Edward Krakowski,
Lyudmila Casido,
Toshia Kuget,
Shikhar Kumar,
Kenneth Bruce Campo,
Frederick Kuo Jr.,
Patricia A. Corris,
Nauka Kushitani,
Thomas Joseph Kuvekas,
Victor Kwarkai,
Raymond Kui-Fei Kwok,
Angela Reed Kite,
Andrew Lacourte,
Carol Ann LaPlante,
Jeffrey G. Latouche,
Catherine L. Laborie,
Amarnath Lachman,
Ganesh K. Ladkat,
James Patrick Ladley,
Joseph A. LaFalce,
Jeanette Louise LaFont Minachino,
David James LaForge,
and my uncle Jason Malabuyok de Chavez. I never met you, but deep down in my heart, I truly love you. I heard many great stories about you. I always think what life would be with you. If you were here, life would be perfect, but even without you, we love you with all our heart. Mahal na mahal kita.
and my father, John Christopher Henwood. Dad, although it's been 16 years and yesterday would have been your 25th wedding anniversary with Mom, she has kept you alive and present in our hearts and everyday lives. I hope that you're proud of me. I know that you're proud of Claudia and her sweet and loving personality, and I know that you're proud of Mom because of her unconditional love and because of all the sacrifices she has made throughout the years while raising both of us. We think of you every day, and you're in our hearts every day. We love you very much, and you will never ever be forgotten.
Michael Patrick Lafort,
Alan Charles LaFrance,
Juan Mendez Lafuente,
Neil Kwong Wa Lei,
Vincent Anthony Laida,
William David Lake,
Franco Lalama,
Chow Quan Lam,
Michael S. Lamana,
Stephen Lamantia,
Amy Hope Lamonsoff,
Robert T. Lane,
Brendan Mark Lang,
Roseanne P. Lang,
Vanessa Lang Langer,
Mary Lou Langley,
Peter J. Langone,
Thomas Michael Langone,
Michelle Bernadette Lanza,
Ruth Sheila Lapin,
Ingabor A.D. Larrabee,
Robin Blair Larkey,
Judith Camilla LaRocque,
Christopher Randall Larrabee,
Hamadou S. Larry,
Scott Larson,
John Adam Larson,
Natalie Janice Lasden,
Gary Edward Lasco,
Nicholas Craig Lassman,
Paul Lusinski,
Charles A. Lorenzen,
Stephen James Loria,
Maria Lavache,
Dennis Francis Lavelle,
Janine Mary Laverty,
Anna A. Laverty,
Stephen Lawn,
Robert A. Lawrence Jr.,
Nathaniel Lawson,
and my father, Norberto Hernandez. We love you, we miss you, we always think of you. May God bless America, and may God always bless our first responders.
and to my brother Brendan Lang and my aunt Roseanne Lang. I stand before you a proud American, a brother and a nephew to two incredible people tragically and violently taken from us. They left an incredible mark on their too short of time here, and they will eternally be remembered. Bumble and Aunt Ro, we miss you terribly. God bless those men and women in the military and the police force and all of those who fight for our freedoms and our peace of mind that we so much enjoy. Thank you.
David W. Lachek,
Eugene Gabriel Lazar,
James Patrick Leahy,
Joseph Gerard Levy,
Neil J. Levy,
Robert G. LeBlanc,
Alan J. Letterman,
Kenneth Charles Leyday,
Alex Leduc,
Elena F. Ledesma,
David S. Lee,
Daniel John Lee,
Gary H. Lee,
Dong Chul Lee,
Unita A. Lee,
Hyun Jun Lee,
Linda C. Lee,
Catherine Blair Lee,
Myung Woo Lee,
Lorraine Mary Green Lee,
Stuart So Jin Lee,
Richard Y.C. Lee,
Stephen Paul Lefkowitz,
Yang Der Lee,
Edward Joseph Liam,
Adriana Legro,
David R. Leisman,
Eric Lehrfeld,
Joseph Anthony Lenahan,
David Prudencio Lemagne,
John Robinson Lenore,
John Joseph Lennon Jr.,
Matthew G. Leonard,
Jorge Luis Leon Sr.,
Charles A. LaFrance,
Michael Lepore,
John Dennis Levy,
Jeff Levine,
and the Captain of Rescue Company 4, Brian Christopher Hickey. Cap, your legacy lives on in Rescue 4 with the appointment of your son Daniel. He makes us proud every day. To the 343 brothers that were lost on this day, the 159 brothers that have passed in the post 9/11 years because of the illnesses that they attributed to this site, to the hundreds of firemen that are battling illnesses, you must all know, you and your families, that you were in the thoughts and prayers of every member of this great department known as the FDNY.
Alicia Karen Levin, and my brother TJ Hargrave, who we all really, really miss. Someone once wrote, to be a great man, you must first be a good man. My brother was a good man.
Neil David Levin,
Robert Levine,
Robert Michael Levine,
Shai Levenhar,
Daniel M. Lewin,
Adam J. Lewis,
Jennifer Lewis,
Kenneth E. Lewis,
Margaret Susan Lewis,
Yi Wei Liang,
Orasri Liang Thanasarn,
Daniel F. Libretti,
Ralph Michael Lichardi,
Edward Lichstein,
Samantha L. Lightborn Allen,
Stephen Barry Lilienthal,
Carlos R. Lilo,
Craig Damian Lilor,
Arnold Arboleda Lim,
Daria Lin,
Wei Rong Lin,
Nikki L. Lindo,
Thomas V. Linehan Jr.,
Robert Thomas Linan,
Alan Patrick Linton Jr.,
Diane Teresa Lapari,
Kenneth P. Lira Arevalo,
Francisco Alberto Liriano,
Lorraine Lisi,
Paul Listen,
Vincent M. Lito,
Ming Hao Liu,
Nancy Liz,
Harold Liscano,
Martin Lizul,
George A. Jones,
Elizabeth E. C. Logler,
Catherine Lisa Laguidice,
Jerome Robert Lohez,
Michael William Lomax,
and my uncle Bart Joseph Ruggieri. We love you, we miss you, and I think about you every time I walk onto the trading floor.
And my father, thank you for keeping Mom and I strong, and we know you're watching over us every day. We love you so much, and we miss you so much, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't wish you were with us. And my father, Noel Maris.
Stephen V. Long,
Laura Maria Longing,
Salvatore P. Lopez,
Daniel Lopez,
George Lopez,
Luis Manuel Lopez,
Maclovio Lopez Jr.,
Manuel L. Lopez,
Joseph Lostrangio,
Chet Deck Louis,
Stuart Side Louis,
Joseph Lavero,
Sarah Elizabeth Lowe,
Jenny Sue Quang Lo Wong,
Michael W. Lowe,
Gary W. Lozier,
John P. Lazowski,
Charles Peter Lucania,
Edward Hobbs Luckett II,
Mark Gavin Ludvigsen,
Lee Charles Ludwig,
Sean Thomas Lugano,
Daniel Lugo,
Marie Lucas,
William Lum Jr.,
Michael P. London,
Christopher E. Lunder,
Anthony Luparello,
Gary Frederick Lutnick,
Linda Ann Luzacone,
Alexander Ligon,
Cece Lyles,
Farrell Peter Lynch,
James Francis Lynch,
James T. Lynch Jr.,
Louise A. Lynch,
Michael Cameron Lynch,
Michael Francis Lynch,
Michael Francis Lynch,
Richard D. Lynch Jr.,
and my father, Paul Dario Cirioli. Dad, this is Brady. He's your first grandson. He was born this past July on 7/7/17. In the delivery room, there was a picture of a birdhouse, and my dad used to love crafting birdhouses from wood. And seeing that picture, I knew he was looking down on us and that he was watching over us and making sure this little guy came out healthy. But I didn't know that he would bless us with such a cute and beautiful little son. We miss you so much and love you so much, and I can't wait to tell him so many stories about the greatest man I ever knew. I love you, Dad.
and my brother, James Patrick Berger. His sons, Nicholas, Alex, and Christian, have grown up into fine young men, and who, with their mother, Suzanne, are all Villanova Wildcats. Thank you.
Robert Henry Lynch Jr.,
Sean P. Lynch,
Sean Patrick Lynch,
Terrence M. Lynch,
Michael J. Lyons,
Monica Ann Lyons,
Naheeman Lyons IV,
Patrick John Lyons,
Robert Francis Mace,
Marianne McFarland,
Jan Maciejewski,
Susan A. Mackey,
William Macco,
Catherine Fairfax McCrae,
Richard Blaine Madden,
Simon Madison,
Noel C. Myers,
Jenny Ann Maffeo,
Joseph Maffeo,
J. Robert Magazine,
Brian McGee,
Charles W. McGee,
Joseph McGiddy,
Ronald Magnuson,
Daniel L. Mayer,
Thomas A. Mahon,
William J. Mahoney,
Joseph Daniel Mayo,
Linda C. Mara Grayling,
Takashi Makimoto,
Abdul Allah Malahi,
Deborah I. Maldonado,
Myrna T. Maladona Agosto,
Alfred Russell Maller,
Gregory James Malone,
Edward Francis Maloney III,
Joseph E. Maloney,
Jean Edward Malloy,
Kristen H. Maltby,
Francisco Miguel Mancini,
and my grandfather, Michael Sanphilip, who I did not get to quite meet, but I know he loves me and watches over me every day.
and my loving fiance, Paul Anella. Our time together was too short. I will always miss you.
Joseph Mangano,
Sarah Elizabeth Manley,
Deborah M. Manetta,
Marianne Victoria Manning,
Terrence John Manning,
James Moniz,
Alfred Giles Padre Joseph Marchand,
Joseph Ross Marchbanks Jr.,
Laura A. Marchesi,
Hilda Marson,
Peter Edward Markidian,
Edward Joseph Mordovich,
Charles Joseph Marjota,
Louis Neil Mariani,
Kenneth Joseph Marino,
Lester V. Marino,
Vida Marino,
Kevin D. Marlowe,
Jose Juan Marrero,
John Daniel Marshall,
Shelley A. Marshall,
James Martello,
Michael A. Marty,
Karen N. Martin,
Peter C. Martin,
Teresa M. Martin,
William J. Martin Jr.,
Brian E. Martineau,
Betsy Martinez,
Edward J. Martinez,
Jose Angel Martinez Jr.,
Robert Gabriel Martinez,
Waleska Martinez,
Lizzie D. Martinez Calderon,
Paul Richard Martini,
Anne Marie Martino Kramer,
Joseph A. Mascali,
Bernard Mascarenas,
Stephen Frank Macy,
Ada L. Mason Ager,
and my cousin Lucia Crifasi. Wish you were here, Lou, to enjoy Angela's beautiful children. Guide and protect them from heaven. We love you, we miss you, your beautiful smile, and your uplifting personality. Thank you.
and my uncle Martin Morales Simpoltecat. Tio, we miss you and we love you always. Memories are what we often hold on to. We were all so little and now we're all so grown. But your memory will always be with us. I know you're in good company up there with Grandpa now watching over us. I love you till we see each other again. Thank you.
Nicholas George Massa,
Patricia Ann Cimaroli Massari,
Michael Mazzaroli,
Philip William Mastrandrea Jr.,
Rudy Mastasinke,
Joseph Mathai,
Charles William Mathers,
William A. Matheson,
Marcelo Matriciano,
Margaret Leanne Maddock,
Dean E. Matson,
Robert D. Matson,
Walter A. Matuza Jr.,
Timothy J. Maud,
Jill Morrow Campbell,
Charles A. Morrow Jr.,
Charles J. Morrow,
Dorothy Morrow,
Nancy T. Morrow,
Robert J. Maxwell,
Renee A. May,
Tyrone May,
Kilroy Marcellus Maynard,
Robert J. Mayo,
Kathy M. Naza,
Edward Mazzella Jr.,
Jennifer Lynn Mazzana,
Karia Mabaya,
James Joseph McAlery Jr.,
Brian Gerard McLeese,
Patricia Ann McAnini,
Colin R. MacArthur,
John Kevin McAvoy,
Kenneth M. McBrayer,
Brennan F. McCabe,
Michael McCabe,
Thomas Joseph McCann,
Justin McCarthy,
Kevin M. McCarthy,
Michael Desmond McCarthy,
and my brother, firefighter Paul Hanlon Keating. Paulie, we miss you every day, and we're very proud of you until we meet again.
Obdulia Ruiz Diaz, Papi, not a day goes by that we don't think about you. The way you made us beautiful drawings with coffee shop napkins and make up silly songs on your guitar. We know you're up there with Manuel, watching over us and making us, especially Mommy, stronger every day. We love you.
Robert G. McCarthy, Katie Marie McCloskey, Ruth Magdalene McCourt, Toniel F. McDay, Joseph P. McDonald, Michael P. McDonald, Eamon J. McAnemy, Daniel Francis McGinley, William E. McGinn, Michael Gregory McGinty, Scott Martin McGovern, Stacy Sinnis McGowan, Thomas F. McGinnis, Thomas M. McHale, Ann M. McCure, Dennis P. McCure, Robert G. McLevain, Stephanie Marie McKenna, Barry J. McKeon, Darrell Laurent McKinney, and my brother, Christopher Samuel Epps. It has been 16 years since my brother took flight from this earth. Our family deeply misses him. He made a pivotal statement to our family in his existence. He exhibited love. He stood still against hatred, discrimination. He was one who always showed love to anybody who came in his path. He would help anyone. If you needed him, all you had to do is call on him. He valued education. He valued his life. It's a great loss to our family today. And what I can say today, that I don't live my life in complacency. I look at every day and take every day as a day to do something different in my life, so that my brother's life and all of the people who have lost their lives on this day will not be in vain. I stand in love, I stand in unity, and I stand in solidarity that this world will make a change for the better. With his love, on his birthday in August of this year, a baby was born. And the baby was my niece, who was in Brazil in 2016 in the Olympics as a triple jumper. We did not know whether or not this baby was going to be born in August or not. But on the 31st day, this baby came into the world. We were so delighted because we knew that she had named this baby after my brother, and his name is Christian. So we are so profoundly happy today that there are many, many, many accomplishments in our family, and we deeply love Christopher Samuel Epps, and he will never be forgotten. Thank you.
Stanley McCaskill, Juliana Valentine McCord, Charles Austin McCran, Matthew T. McDermott, Brian Grady McDonald, John F. McDowell, John Thomas McCarolyn Jr., Mark Ryan McGinley, Thomas Henry McGuinness, Ann Walsh McGovern, William J. McGovern, Francis Noel McGuinn, Patrick J. McGuire, Keith David McAfee, Dennis J. McHugh III, Michael Edward McHugh Jr., Donald James McIntyre, Molly L. McKenzie, Evelyn C. McKennedy, George Patrick McLaughlin Jr., and my sister Sadie 80. It's been 16 years since you were snatched away from us. Our comfort is that you're resting in the bosom of the Lord. We love you, we miss you, and you always remain in our hearts. God bless you.
Robert C. McLaughlin Jr.,
Gavin McMahon,
Robert D. McMahon,
Evan M. McNally,
Daniel Walker McNeil,
Walter Arthur McNeil,
Christine Sheila McNulty,
Sean Peter McNulty,
Robert William McPadden,
Terrence A. McShane,
Timothy Patrick McSweeney,
Martin E. McWilliams,
Rocco A. Medaglia,
Abigail Medina,
Anna Iris Medina,
Damian Meehan,
William J. Meehan Jr.,
Alok Kumar Mehta,
Raymond Meisenheimer,
Manuel Emilio Mejia,
Escadar Malacu,
Antonio Melendez,
Mary P. Melendez,
Christopher D. Mello,
Yelena Melnichenko,
Stuart Todd Meltzer,
Direlia Giovanna Mena,
Dora Marie Menchaca,
Charles R. Mendez,
Lizette Mendoza,
Siobhan Alicia Mentis,
Wolfgang Peter Menzel,
Steve John Mercado,
Wilfredo Mercado,
Wesley Mercer,
Ralph Joseph Mercurio,
Alan Harvey Merdinger,
George L. Marino,
Yamel Josefina Marino,
George Mercuris,
and my cousin Jude Elias Safi. We love you and we miss you.
and my father, Paul Ortiz Jr. 16 years ago, I was too young to walk or talk, but today I stand here proud to read my father's name and say that Grandma, Grandpa, Mom, and the rest of the family miss you, Dad. You're never far from our thoughts. You're my hero, and every day I strive to make you proud. Until we meet again. Deborah Merrick,
Raymond Joseph Metz III,
Jill Ann Metzler,
David Robert Meyer,
Narul H. Miha,
William Edward Michiuli,
Martin Paul Michelstein,
Patricia E. Mickley,
Ronald D. Milam,
Peter Teague Milano,
Gregory Milanowicz,
Lukasz Tomasz Mileski,
Sharon Christina Milan,
Corey Peter Miller,
Craig J. Miller,
Douglas C. Miller,
Henry Alfred Miller Jr.,
Joe Miller,
Michael Matthew Miller,
Nicole Carol Miller,
Philip D. Miller,
Robert Allen Miller,
Robert Cromwell Miller Jr.,
Benny Millman,
Charles M. Mills Jr.,
Ronald Keith Milstein,
Robert J. Manera,
William George Minardi,
Louis Joseph Minervino,
Thomas Minjone,
Wilbert Morile,
Dominic N. Merkovich,
Rajesh Arjan Mirpuri,
Joseph D. Mistruli,
Susan J. Miskovich,
Paul Thomas Mitchell,
Richard P. Muccio,
Jeffrey Peter Ledenick,
Frank V. Mochia Sr.,
Louis Joseph Modafferi,
and my grandfather, Master Carpenter Joseph D. Mistrulli. Although I never got to meet you, I know you're watching over me. I love and miss you.
and my brother-in-law, Salvatore T. Papasso. Sal, we all love you and miss you. Your wife, Christine, often sees dragonflies dancing in the yard. Legend has it that a dragonfly was given an extra set of wings so angels could ride on their backs. So, Christine, when you see an angel fly, be assured and know that Salvatore is hovering nearby, watching over you, protecting you, and continuing to always love you until you meet again.
Boy Mohammed,
Dennis Mojica,
Manuel D. Mojica Jr.,
K. Blair Rolando Molina,
Manuel de Jesus Molina,
Carl Molinaro,
Justin John Molisani Jr.,
Brian Patrick Monaghan,
Franklin Monahan,
John Gerard Monahan,
Kristen Lee Montanaro,
Craig Montano,
Michael G. Montesi,
Carlos Alberto Montoya,
Antonio de Jesus Montoya Valdez,
Cheryl Ann Mognac,
Thomas Carlo Moody,
Sharon Moore,
Krishna V. Morthy,
Laura Lee DeFazio Morabito,
Abner Morales,
Carlos Manuel Morales,
Paula E. Morales,
Sonia Mercedes Morales Papalo,
Gerard P. Moran, Jr.,
John Christopher Moran,
John Michael Moran,
Kathleen Moran,
Lindsay Stapleton Morehouse,
George William Morell,
Stephen P. Morello,
Vincent S. Morello,
Richard J. Morgan,
Nancy Morgenstern,
Sonny Mori,
Blanca Robertina Morocho,
Lionel Geronimo Morocho,
Dennis Gerard Moroni,
and my uncle, Martin Lizzle. Please continue to watch over me, my brother, and my family. Please continue to give us signs that I know you're watching over us. We love you and miss you very much.
and my brother, Bruce Edward Simmons. In Bruce's memory and in the memory of all who lost their lives on 9/11, I pray that just like in the days and months following 9/11/2001, we can put our differences aside and unite for our brothers and sisters in Houston and Florida and for our country. God bless America.
Lynn Irene Morris,
Odessa V. Morris,
Seth Allen Morris,
Steve Morris,
Christopher Martell Morrison,
Ferdinand V. Marone,
William David Moskal,
Brian A. Moss,
Marco Matroni,
Cynthia Modis Wilson,
Yuri A. Muchinsky,
Jude Joseph Musa,
Peter Mutos,
Damian O'Neill Moat,
Teddington H. Moy,
Christopher Michael Muzzillo,
Stephen Vincent Muldry,
Richard T. Muldowney Jr.,
Michael D. Mullen,
Dennis Michael Mulligan,
Peter James Mulligan,
Michael Joseph Mullen,
James Donald Munhall,
Nancy Muniz,
Francisco Hilario Munoz,
Carlos Mario Munoz,
Teresa Munson,
Robert Michael Marak,
Cesar Augusto Murillo,
Mark A. Murillo,
Brian Joseph Murphy,
Charles Anthony Murphy,
Christopher W. Murphy,
Edward Charles Murphy,
James F. Murphy IV,
James Thomas Murphy,
Kevin James Murphy,
Patrick Jude Murphy,
Patrick Sean Murphy,
Raymond E. Murphy,
and my uncle, Brian Christopher Novotny. We love and miss you every day. You will forever live in our hearts.
and my uncle, Port Authority Police Officer Maurice Vincent Barry. Uncle Mo, we love and miss you every day. We will never forget.
Robert Eddie Murphy Jr.,
John Joseph Murray,
John Joseph Murray,
Susan D. Murray,
Valerie Victoria Murray,
Richard Todd Myrie,
Louis J. Nackey II,
Robert B. Nagel,
Mildred Rose Naaman,
Takuya Nakamura,
Alexander John Robert Napier,
Frank Joseph Naples III,
John Philip Napolitano,
Catherine Ann Nardella,
Mario Nardone Jr.,
Manika K. Narula,
Sean M. Nasanani,
Narendra Nath,
Karen Susan Navarro,
Joseph M. Navis,
Francis Joseph Nazario,
Glenroy I. Neblet,
Raymond Marcus Neblet,
Jerome O. Ned,
Lawrence F. Nadell,
Luke G. Nee,
Pete Negron,
Lori Ann Nera,
Ann N. Nelson,
David William Nelson,
Ginger Risco Nelson,
James A. Nelson,
Michelle Ann Nelson,
Peter Allen Nelson,
Oscar Francis Nesbitt,
Gerard Terrence Nevins,
Renee Tetrault Newell,
Christopher C. Newton,
Christopher Newton Carter,
Nancy Yuen Go,
and my brother-in-law, firefighter James Michael Gray, ladder 20. God bless you. The family thinks about you every day, loves you and misses you. Your parents, Patrick and Doreen, miss you. Your loving sister, Sue, misses you. Your daughters, Colleen and Caitlin. Your nieces, Avery and Elise. Aunt Pat, Joy and Eric, and the rest of the family. And your close, good buddies that we're meeting at Lee's later on. They all miss you. God bless first responders. God bless Texas and Florida for what they're going to go through. And God bless America.
and my father, Edward Frank Polis. First and foremost, I want to wish my mom a happy birthday. She done a great job taking care of me and my brother and my sister. My brother's in the Navy. I want to thank him also. And then my dad, I'll always miss my dad. I remember him like it was yesterday. He was the best dad ever. We had so many great times together. He taught me how to be a man. And I'm just happy he was my dad, and I'll always miss him. And he should have never died, but that's how it is. And thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Kong Naguk Nagoyan,
Jody Tepedino Nichilo,
Kathleen Ann Nicosia,
Martin Stewart Niederer,
Alphonse Joseph Niedermeyer,
Frank John Niestat Jr.,
Gloria Nieves,
Juan Nieves Jr.,
Troy Edward Nilsson,
Paul Nimbley,
John Valentine Niven,
Catherine McGarry Nowak,
Curtis Terrence Noel,
Michael A. Noth,
Daniel R. Nolan,
Robert Walter Noonan,
Jacqueline June Norton,
Robert Grant Norton,
Daniela Rosalia Nataro,
Brian Christopher Novotny,
Soichi Numata,
Brian Nunez,
Jose Nunez,
Jeffrey Roger Nussbaum,
James A. Oakley,
Dennis Patrick Oberg,
James P. O'Brien Jr.,
Michael P. O'Brien,
Scott J. O'Brien,
Timothy Michael O'Brien,
Danielle O. Callahan,
Dennis James O'Connor Jr.,
Diana J. O'Connor,
Keith Kevin O'Connor,
Richard J. O'Connor,
Amy O'Doherty,
Marnie Pont O'Doherty,
Douglas E. Elschlager,
Takashi Agawa,
Albert Ogletree,
and my uncle, Damian Meehan. Your big Irish family loves and misses you every day, Uncle D.
and my father, David Garcia. Thank you to all my family and friends and my girlfriend. You all have supported me so much. Dad, love and miss you very much.
Philip Paul Ognebene,
John A. Oganowski,
James Andrew O'Grady,
Joseph J. O'Grain,
Thomas G. O'Hagan,
Samuel Otis,
Patrick J. O'Keefe,
William O'Keefe,
Gerald Michaels Olcott,
Gerald Thomas O'Leary,
Christine Ann Olander,
Linda Mary Oliva,
Edward K. Oliver,
Leah Elizabeth Oliver,
Eric Tobe Olson,
Jeffrey James Olson,
Barbara K. Olson,
Maureen Lyons Olson,
Stephen John Olson,
Matthew Timothy O'Mahony,
Toshihiro Onda,
Seamus L. O'Neill,
John P. O'Neill,
Peter J. O'Neill Jr.,
Sean Gordon Corbett O'Neill,
Betty Ann Ong,
Michael C. Opperman,
Christopher T. Orgilowitz,
Margaret Queen Orlowski,
Virginia Ann Ormiston,
Ruben S. Ornedo,
Kevin M. O'Rourke,
Ronald Orsini,
Peter Keith Ortali,
Juan Ortega Campos,
Jane Marie Orth,
Alexander Ortiz,
David Ortiz,
Emilio Pete Ortiz,
Pablo Ortiz,
and my daughter, Bella J. Buchan. Bella, we miss you a lot, as always, and we shall never, ever forget all those innocent victims of that horrible day. We, the family and friends, wish you a belated 40th birthday. God bless you all, and God bless America. Thank you.
and my uncle, Eddie Wingwai Ching. Even though I was only 2 years old, I feel like I know so much about you through the stories that I've been told. We love and miss you, Uncle Eddie.
Paul Ortiz Jr.,
Sonia Ortiz,
Masaru Jose,
Patrick J. O'Shea,
Robert William O'Shea,
Elsie Carolina Osorio Oliva,
James R. Ostrowski,
Timothy Franklin O'Sullivan,
Jason Douglas Oswald,
Michael John Otten,
Isidro D. Ottenwalder,
Michael Chung Au,
Todd Joseph Oida,
Jesus Ovalles,
Peter J. Owens Jr.,
Arianes Oyola,
Angel M. Pavon Jr.,
Israel Pabon Jr.,
Roland Pacheco,
Michael Benjamin Packer,
Diana B. Padro,
Deepa Pakala,
Jeffrey Matthew Palazzo,
Thomas Palazzo,
Richard A. Palazzolo,
Ario Joseph Palmer,
Frank Anthony Palombo,
Alan N. Palumbo,
Christopher Matthew Panatier,
Dominique Lisa Pandolfo,
Jonas Martin Panic,
Paul J. Pansini,
John N. Paolillo,
Edward Joseph Papa,
Salvatore T. Papasso,
James Nicholas Papa George,
Mary Papalardo,
Vinod Kumar Parakat,
Vijay Ashankar Paramsoti,
Nitin Ramesh Parankar,
and my beloved brother Moises N. Rivas. Moises, I can't believe it. It's 16 years without you. But you're not alone up there anymore. Our mom is with you now. Take care of her. I love you and miss you every day. You're my brother. You're my hero, bro.
And my uncle, Donnie Robertson Jr., number 26 on the field, and number 1 in both our hearts, and time spent in the penalty box. We love you. We miss you.
Pardai Parbu. James Wendell Parham. Deborah Marie Paris. George Paris. Guy Young Park. Philip Lacey Parker. Michael Elaine Parks. Robert E. Parks Jr. Hashmukh C. Parmar. Robert Paro. Diane Marie Parsons. Leobardo Lopez Pascual. Michael J. Pascuma Jr. Gerald Hughes Paskins. Horace Robert Passananti. Suzanne H. Passaro. Avnish Ramanbai Patel. Dipti Patel. Manish Patel. Stephen Bennett Patterson. James Matthew Patrick. Manuel D. Patrocino. Bernard E. Patterson. Clifford L. Patterson Jr. Sierra Marie Patty. Robert E. Pattison. James Robert Paul. Patrice Paz. Victor Hugo Paz. Stacy Lynn Peak. Richard Allen Perlman. Darrell V. Pearsall Jr. Thomas Nicholas Pecorelli. Thomas Pedicini. Todd Douglas Polino. Mike Adrian Pelletier. Anthony G. Peluso. Angel R. Pena. Robert Penninger. Richard Al Penny. And my cousin, Thomas J. Ashton. Tommy, you were taken away from our family when you were only my age. Aunt Kathy, Uncle John, Colleen, Mary, and the rest of your family and friends will forever hold you in our hearts. We will always love you, we will always miss you, and we will never forget you. And my father, Timothy Robert Hughes. Some moments last a second, and others last a lifetime. Our hearts are forever full of your moments, memories, and love. Timmy, Kenny, Mommy, and I miss you every day, but I know you'll be celebrating with us this Friday at Kenny's wedding.
Salvatore F. Pepe.
Carl Allen B. Peralta.
Robert David Peraza.
John A. Parconti.
Alejo Perez.
Angel Perez Jr.
Angela Susan Perez.
Anthony Perez.
Ivan Antonio Perez.
Nancy E. Perez.
Barry Berenson Perkins.
Joseph John Parancino.
Edward J. Perota.
Imelda H. Perry.
Glenn C. Perry Sr.
John William Perry.
Franklin Allen Pershep.
Danny Pesce.
Michael John Pescherine.
Davin N. Peterson.
Donald Arthur Peterson.
Jean Hoadley Peterson.
William Russell Peterson.
Mark James Petrocelli.
Philip Scott Petty.
Glenn Karen Petit.
Dominic A. Pizzulo.
Kayleen Elizabeth Pizzuti.
Kevin J. Pfeiffer.
Tu Han Pham.
Kenneth John Phelan Sr.
Snea Ann Phillip.
Eugenia McCann Piantieri.
Ludwig John Picado.
Matthew Picerno.
Joseph O. Pick,
Christopher J. Pickford,
Dennis J. Pierce,
Bernard Petronico,
Nicholas S. Pietrenti,
and my cousin Steve Belson. Before Steve joined the fire department, Steve was a surfer, dedicated his life to saving people. He then joined the fire department. I'm so thankful to Steve's friends in Rockaway Beach. I'm thankful to the city of New York, who named one of the beaches Bells Beach. Stephen Belson was nicknamed Bells. He was also nicknamed Mr. Ladder 24. He worked on 31st Street. So I encourage all you lifeguards out there, keep on saving people. All you surfers out there, keep on surfing. Steve loved saving people, he loved surfing, and most of all, he was so proud to be a member of the fire department of New York City.
and my beloved brother, fabulous daddy, and most honorable man, David William Nelson. We love you, we miss you, we will never forget. God bless the USA.
Theodorus Piggis,
Susan Elizabeth Pinto,
Joseph Viscadlo,
Christopher Todd Pittman,
Joshua Michael Piver,
Robert R. Plaisir III,
Sandra F. Plaisir,
Joseph Plumitalo,
Lawrence Michael Polich,
William Howard Pullman,
Steve Policino,
Thomas H. Polhamus,
Darren H. Pontel,
Susan M. Polio,
Giovanna Porras,
Joshua Ausa Poptine,
James Edward Potorti,
Anthony Portillo,
Richard N. Polis,
Daphne Paletsis,
Brandon Jerome Powell,
Stephen Emmanuel Poulos,
Sean Edward Powell,
Scott Allen Powell,
Gregory M. Prezioze,
Antonio Dorsey Pratt,
Vincent A. Princiota,
Wanda Evelise Prince,
Everett Martin Proctor III,
Kevin M. Pryor,
David Lee Kroon,
Carrie Beth Projan,
John Foster Puckett,
Richard A. Prunty,
Edward F. Pullis,
Robert David Pugliese,
Jack D. Punches,
Patricia Ann Puma,
and my uncle, William A. Matheson. Thank you for the amazing gifts you've left with us. Your music, your unconditional love for our family, and most importantly, your beautiful daughters. Uncle Billy, you are truly one of a kind. We love and miss you so much.
Hemant Kumar Puta, and my uncle Frederick K. Hahn. Hey, Uncle Freddie. Although I never met you, I'm often told how kind and caring you were and the loud laugh you had. I think we would have gone along. We all miss you, the Emperor, and I'm proud to be your niece.
Joseph J. Pisior Jr.,
Edward R. Pycon,
Christopher Quackenbush,
Lars Peter Qualben,
Lincoln Quapp,
Beth Ann Quigley,
Patrick J. Quigley IV,
Michael T. Quilty,
James Francis Quinn,
Ricardo J. Quinn,
Carol Millicent Roble,
Christopher Peter Anthony Raccaniello,
Leonard J. Regalia,
Eugene J. Raggio,
Laura Marie Raganisi Snick,
Michael Paul Ragusa,
Peter Frank Ramundi,
Harry A. Rains,
Lisa J. Rains,
Etesham Raja,
Valsa Raju,
Edward J. Rawl,
Lucas Rambusek,
Maria Ramirez,
Harry Ramos.
Vishnu Ramsarup.
Deborah A. Ramsauer.
Lorenzo E. Ramsey.
Alfred Todd Ranke.
Adam David Rand.
Jonathan C. Randall.
Shreyas S. Ranganath.
Ann T. Ransom.
Faina Rappaport.
Rhonda Sue Rasmussen.
Robert A. Rasmussen.
Aminia Rasul.
R. Mark Rosweiler.
Marcia D. Ratchford.
David Allen James Rathke.
And my father, Craig Montano. Dad, Mom, Lucas, Krista, and Grandma and I, we think about you every day, and we love you, and we miss you.
And my great aunt Anne Marie Riccoboni, happy birthday.
Gerard F. Ruzzi.
William Ralph Robb.
Gregory Rita.
Alexei Razuvayev.
Michelle Marie Reed.
Sarah Ann Redheffer.
Donald J. Regan.
Judith Ann Reese.
Thomas Michael Regan.
Robert M. Regan.
Howard Reach.
Christian Michael Otto Regenhard.
James Brian Riley.
Greg Riley.
Thomas E. Riley.
Kevin O. Riley.
Thomas Barnes Reed.
Joseph Rayner Jr.
Joshua Scott Reese.
Frank Bennett Reisman.
John Ahmad Rio.
Karen Renda.
John Thomas Resta.
Richard Cyril Rescorla.
Martha M. Reski.
Sylvia Sanpio Resta.
Todd H. Rubin.
David E. Reddick.
Edwiges Reyes Jr.
Luis Coloaldo Revilla Mir.
John Frederick Rhodes.
Bruce Albert Reynolds.
Rudolph N. Rachel.
Francis Saverio Riccardelli.
David Harlow Reese.
Anne Marie Riccoboni.
Kenneth Frederick Reese III.
Eileen Mary Rice.
Vernon Allen Richard.
Cecilia E. Richard.
And my sister Abigail Medina, which one day I know I have the hope in seeing her again.
And my sister-in-law, Dorelia Giovanna Mena. We miss your smile, we miss your laughter, and your love of music. Your beautiful daughter has just graduated high school and has grown into a beautiful woman. She's surrounded by love and by family and her wonderful, wonderful cousins. Thank you.
Claude Daniel Richards.
Gregory David Richards.
Michael Richards.
Vanessa Orentia Richards.
Jimmy Riches.
Alan J. Richmond.
John M. Rigo.
Frederick Charles Rimley III.
Rose Marie Rizzo.
Moises N. Rivas.
Joseph R. Rivella Jr.
Carmen Alicia Rivera.
Iasis Riviera.
Juan William Rivera.
Linda Ivalise Rivera.
David E. Rivers.
Joseph R. Reverso.
Paul V. Rizza.
John Frank Rizzo.
Stephen Lewis Roach.
Joseph Roberto.
Leo Arthur Roberts.
Michael E. Roberts.
Michael Edward Roberts.
Donald Walter Robertson Jr.
Jeffrey Robinson.
Michael Lee Jean Robotham.
Donald Arthur Robson.
Antonio A. Roca.
Raymond James Roca.
Laura Rockefeller.
John Michael Rodak.
Antonio Jose Rodriguez.
Anthony Rodriguez,
Carmen Milagros Rodriguez,
Gregory E. Rodriguez,
Marcia A. Rodriguez,
Myra Valdez Rodriguez,
Richard Rodriguez,
David Bartolo Rodriguez Vargas.
and I am here today to honor my fiance, firefighter Joseph J. Ogren, Ladder 3, Recon. I miss you and love you more than words could ever tell.
And my father, Wei-Bin Wong. We love you and miss you so much.
Matthew Rogan,
Jean Destrehan Rozier,
Carly Rogers,
Scott William Roner,
Keith Michael Roma,
Joseph M. Romanova,
Efrain Romero Sr.,
Elvin Romero,
James A. Romito,
Sean Paul Rooney,
Eric Thomas Ropito,
Aida Rosario,
Angela Rosario,
Mark H. Rosen,
Brooke David Rosenbaum,
Linda Rosenbaum,
Cheryl Lynn Rosenbaum,
Lloyd Daniel Rosenberg,
Mark Lewis Rosenberg,
Andrew Ira Rosenblum,
Joshua M. Rosenblum,
Joshua Allen Rosenthal,
Richard David Rosenthal,
Philip Merton Rosenswag,
Daniel Rossetti,
Richard Barry Ross,
Norman S. Rossenow,
Nicholas P. Rosamondo,
Michael Craig Rothberg,
Donna Marie Rothenberg,
Mark David Rothenberg,
James Michael Rue,
Nicholas Charles Alexander Rowe,
Edward V. Rowenhorst,
Judy Rowlett,
Timothy Allen Boyd Sr.,
Paul G. Rubach,
Ronald J. Rubin,
Joanne Rubino,
David M. Ruddle,
and to my aunt and godmother, Myrna T. Maldonado. We miss you so much. The pain of losing you will never, ever go away, but we do feel your presence and know that you are always around guiding us. Not a day goes by that we don't think about you or miss you. We hope that you're looking down upon us. You're smiling proudly of the people that we have become. And as you used to say, never give up, go over, go under, or go around, but never, ever give up. We love you, Titi Myrna.
And my uncle, Michael Boyle. He's a hero to me and a hero to many others.
Bart Joseph Ruggieri,
Susan A. Ruggiero,
Adam Keith Rualter,
Gilbert Ruiz,
Robert E. Russell,
Stephen P. Russell,
Stephen Harris Russin,
Michael Thomas Rousseau Sr.,
Wayne Allen Russo,
William R. Ruth,
Edward Ryan,
John Joseph Ryan,
Jonathan Stephen Ryan,
Matthew L. Ryan,
Tatiana Rishova,
Christina Sunga Ryuk,
Thierry Sada,
Jason Elazar Sabaj,
Thomas E. Sabella,
Scott H. Saber,
Charles E. Sabin Sr.,
Joseph Francis Sacerdote,
Jessica Lee Sachs,
Francis John Sadocha,
Jude Elias Safi,
Brock Joel Safronoff,
Edward Saya,
John Patrick Salomon,
Marjorie C. Salomon,
Hernando Rafael Salas,
Juan G. Salas,
Esmerlin Antonio Salcedo,
John Pepe Salerno,
Rama Salai,
Richard L. Selinardi Jr.,
Wayne John Solomon,
Norbert Solomon,
Catherine Patricia Salter,
Frank G. Salvatierra,
Paul Richard Salvio,
and my aunt, Elaine Myra Greenberg. We love you, we miss you, and we will never forget you.
and to my father, Robert Gabriel Martinez. May you rest in peace. I promise to make Grandma and Grandpa happy, and I will always continue to chase my dreams. I love you.
Samuel Robert Salvo Jr.,
Carlos Alberto Samaniego,
John P. San Martino,
James Kenneth Samuel Jr.,
Michael San Philip,
Hugo M. Sanye,
Alva Cynthia Jeffries Sanchez,
Jacqueline Patrice Sanchez,
Jesus Sanchez,
Raymond Sanchez,
Eric M. Sand,
Stacy Leigh Sanders,
Herman S. Sandler,
Jim Sands Jr.,
Aileen J. Santiago,
Kirsten Reese Santiago,
Maria Teresa Conception Santillan,
Susan Gail Santo,
Christopher A. Santora,
John August Santori,
Mario L. Santoro,
Rafael Umberto Santos,
Rufino C. F. Santos III,
Victor J. Saraceni,
Kalyan K. Sakar,
Chappelle Renee Stewart Sarker,
Paul F. Sarl,
Deepka Kumar Santalori,
Gregory Thomas Saucedo,
Susan M. Sauer,
Anthony Savas,
Vladimir Savakin,
John Michael Sabarbaro,
David M. Scales,
Robert Louis Scandol,
Michelle Scarpita,
Dennis Scasso,
John Albert Short,
John G. Scharf,
Fred C. Sheffield Jr.,
Angela Susan Scheinberg,
Scott Michael Schertzer,
Sean Schilke,
Stephen Francis Schlag,
Robert A. Schlegel,
John Schissel,
Karen Helene Schmidt,
Ian Schneider,
Thomas G. Scholes,
Frank G. Schott Jr.,
Gerard Patrick Schrang,
Jeffrey H. Schreier,
John T. Schrader,
Susan Lee Schuler,
Edward W. Shunk,
Mark Evan Schumeyer,
John Burkhart Schwartz,
Mark Schwartz,
Adrian Victoria Cibetta,
Raphael Sorka, and my nephew, John James Bedagliaca, sometimes known as Johnny B., a wonderful son, brother, husband, father, nephew, cousin, and friend to all. John, your smile and your eyes lit up the room when you walk in. We know you're lighting up the heavens, and we love and miss you every day. We'll never forget you.
And my big brother, my hero, Harvey Joseph Gardner III. All these years later, big brother, you're still guiding us and you're still inspiring us and you're still a part of our life and very present in our lives. Your example, your passion, your love of life and history in our country will always inspire us. And I'm so proud of this 9/11 community and this institution in the way that we've kept our pledge to never forget, and we always will. Thank you.
Janice M. Scott.
Randolph Scott.
Christopher J. Scudder.
Arthur Warren Scullin.
Michael H. Seaman.
Margaret M. Seeliger.
Anthony Segara.
Carla Segara.
Jason M. Sexer.
Matthew Carmen Salito.
Michael L. Selves.
Howard Selwyn.
Larry John Senko.
Arturo Angelo Sereno.
Frankie Sereno.
Marianne H. Serva.
Alina Sesanova.
Adele Christine Sessa.
Sita Nirmala Sonarine.
Karen Lynn Seymour.
Davis Greer Cessna Jr.
Thomas Joseph Scroy.
Jayesh Shantalal Shah.
Khalid M. Shahid.
Mohammed Shajahan.
Gary Shamay.
Earl Richard Shanahan.
Dan F. Schnauer.
Neil G. Shastri.
Catherine Ann Shatzoff.
Barbara A. Shaw.
Jeffrey James Shaw.
Robert John Shea Jr.
Daniel James Shea.
Joseph Patrick Shea.
Kathleen Shearer.
Robert M. Shearer.
Linda June Sheehan.
Hagay Sheffy.
Antoinette M. Sherman.
John Anthony Sherry.
Atsushi Shiratori.
Thomas Joseph Schubert.
Mark Schulman.
C. Wong Shum.
Alan Abraham Swarnstein.
Claren Shelley Siegel Schwartz.
Johanna Sigmund.
Diane T. Signer.
Gregory Sikorsky.
Stephen Gerard Siller.
David Silver.
Craig A. Silverstein.
Nasima H. Simji.
Bruce Edward Simmons.
Diane M. Simmons.
Donald D. Simmons.
George W. Simmons.
Arthur Simon.
Kenneth Allen Simon.
And in memory of my aunt, Susan Hoy.
And my grandfather, we miss and love, Eustace R. Backus.
Michael J. Simon.
Paul Joseph Simon.
Marianne LaCorey Simone.
Barry Simowitz.
Jane Louise Simkin.
Jeff Lyle Simpson.
Cheryl D. Sincock.
Kamladi Kami Singh.
Roshan Ramesh Singh.
Thomas E. Sinton III.
Peter A. Syracuse.
Muriel F. Siskopoulos.
Joseph Michael Sisolak.
John P. Scala.
Francis Joseph Skidmore, Jr.
Toyana Corliss Skinner.
Paul Albert Skarzapek.
Christopher Paul Slattery.
Vincent Robert Slavin.
Robert F. Sliwak.
Paul Kenneth Sloan.
Stanley G. Smagala Jr.
Wendy L. Small.
Greg H. Smallwood.
Catherine T. Smith.
Daniel Lawrence Smith.
Gary F. Smith.
George Eric Smith.
Heather Lee Smith.
James Gregory Smith,
Jeffrey R. Smith,
Joyce Patricia Smith,
Carl T. Smith Sr.,
Kevin Joseph Smith,
Leon Smith Jr.,
Moira Ann Smith,
Monica Rodriguez Smith,
Rosemary A. Smith,
Bonnie Shahade Smithwick,
Rochelle Monique Snell,
Christine Ann Snyder,
Diane Bullis Snyder,
Leonard J. Snyder Jr.,
Astrid Elizabeth Sohan,
Sushel S. Solanke,
Ruben Solaris,
Naomi Leah Solomon,
Daniel W. Song,
Mary Ray Sapper,
Michael Charles Cerisi,
Fabian Soto,
Timothy Patrick Sulis,
Gregory Thomas Spagnoletti,
Donald F. Spampanato Jr.,
Thomas Sparacho,
John Anthony Spataro,
Robert W. Spear Jr.,
Robert Spiesman,
Maynard S. Spence Jr.,
George Edward Spencer III,
and my beloved husband, Joel Miller. All the boys became fathers since 2001. You've missed out on all of their lives and all of our grandchildren. Please watch over us.
and my brother Ronald J. Rubin. So instead of mourning because our precious things have been taken from us, let us be grateful to God for having lent them to us. Let us count the past happy days not as loss, but as gain. We have had them, and now they are ended. Let us turn the loss to glorious gain, the gain that comes with new courage, with nobler tasks, with a wider outlook on life and duty. Ronnie, I know that you and Mom and Dad are watching over us. Keep caring for us and keep us safe. Thank you.
Robert Andrew Spencer,
Mary Rubina Sperando,
Frank Spinelli,
William E. Spitz,
Joseph Patrick Spohr Jr.,
Klaus Johannes Sprakamp,
Saranya Sinuan,
Fitzroy St. Rose,
Michael F. Stabile,
Lawrence T. Stack,
Timothy M. Stackpole,
Richard James Stadelberger,
Eric Adam Stallman,
Gregory Steik,
Alexandru Levu Stan,
Karina Stan,
Mary Domenica Stanley,
Anthony Starita,
Jeffrey Stark,
Derek James Statkevicius,
Patricia J. Statz,
Craig William Staub,
William V. Steckman,
Eric Thomas Steen,
William R. Steiner,
Alexander Robbins Steinman,
Edna L. Stevens,
Andrew Sturgiopoulos,
Andrew J. Stern,
Norma Lang Stewerley,
Martha Jane Stevens,
Michael James Stewart,
Richard A. Stewart Jr.,
Sanford M. Stoller,
Douglas Joel Stone,
Lonnie J. Stone,
Jimmy Neville Story,
Timothy Stout,
Thomas Strada,
James J. Strain Jr.,
Edward W. Straub,
George J. Strouch Jr.,
Edward Thomas Strauss,
Stephen R. Strauss,
Larry L. Strickland,
Stephen F. Strobert,
Walwyn Wellington Stewart Jr.,
Benjamin Suarez,
David Scott Suarez,
Ramon Suarez,
Dino Xavier Suarez Ramirez,
Yoichi Sugiyama Sugiyama,
William Christopher Sugra,
Daniel Thomas Sewer,
David Mark Sullins,
Christopher P. Sullivan,
Patrick Sullivan,
Thomas G. Sullivan,
Hilario Serrano Sumaya Jr.,
James Joseph Swazo,
and my husband, Daniel Francis McGinley, a father to Terrence, Maddie, Peter, Ann, and Pat, father-in-law to Sylvia.
and my mother, Susan Marie Klein. We love and miss you.
Colleen M. Sapinski,
Robert Sutcliffe,
Celine Sutter,
Claudia Suzette Sutton,
John Francis Swain,
Christine M. Swearzen,
Brian David Sweeney,
Brian Edward Sweeney,
Madeline Amy Sweeney,
Kenneth J. Swenson,
Thomas F. Swift,
Derek Ogilvy Sword,
Kevin Thomas Sozik,
Gina Steinberg,
Norbert P. Schwerskowski,
Harry Tabak,
Joanne C. Tabik,
Norma C. Tadai,
Michael Tadonio,
Kaishiro Takahashi,
Keiji Takahashi,
Phyllis Gale Talbot,
Robert R. Talhami,
John Talignani,
Sean Patrick Talon,
Paul Talty,
Morita Tam,
Rachel Tamarez,
Hector Rogan Tamayo,
Michael Andrew Tamuccio,
Keneshiro Tanaka,
Rondell Sherry Tankard,
Michael Anthony Tanner,
Dennis Gerard Taramina Jr.,
Kenneth Joseph Tarantino,
Alan Taraserich,
Michael C. Thoreau,
Ronald Tartero,
Deborah Tavalarella,
Darrell Anthony Taylor,
Donnie Brooks Taylor,
Hilda E. Taylor,
Kip P. Taylor,
Leonard E. Taylor,
Larissa Ceylon Taylor,
Michael Morgan Taylor,
Sandra C. Taylor,
Sandra Dawn Teague,
Carl W. T.P.,
Paul A. Tegmeyer,
Yeshwant Morshwar Tambe,
Anthony Tempesta,
Dorothy Pearl Temple,
Stanley L. Temple,
David Gustav Peter Tengelin,
Brian John Terenzi,
Lisa Marie Terry,
Gumati Thackerdine,
Harshad Sham Tate,
Michael Theodoridis,
and my brother Christopher Joseph Dunn.
and my cousin, FDNY firefighter Eugene Michael Whalen, Engine Company 230, a hero forever who'll never grow old.
Thomas F. Thurkoff Jr.,
Leslie Ann Thomas,
Brian Thomas Thompson,
Clive Ian Thompson,
Glenn Thompson,
Nigel Bruce Thompson,
Perry A. Thompson,
Vanova Alexi Thompson,
William H. Thompson,
Eric Raymond Thorpe,
Nicola Angela Thorpe,
Tamara C. Thurman,
Sal Edward Thierry Jr.,
John Patrick Tierney,
Mary Ellen Tiesi,
William Randolph Tista,
Kenneth Tejan,
Stephen Edward Ty,
Scott Charles Temes,
Michael E. Tinley,
Jennifer M. Tino,
Robert Frank Tipaldi,
John James Tipping II,
David Tirado,
Hector Luis Tirado Jr.,
Michelle Lee Titolo,
Alicia Nicole Titus,
John J. Tobin,
Richard J. Tedisco,
Otis V. Tolbert,
Vladimir Tomosevich,
Stephen Kemen Tomset,
Thomas Tong,
Doris Torres,
Luis Eduardo Torres,
Amy Elizabeth Toyin,
Christopher Michael Trena,
Daniel Patrick Trent,
Abdul Kareem Triare,
Glenn J. Travers Sr.,
Walter Philip Travers,
Felicia Yvette Trailer Bass,
James Anthony Trecchini,
Mary Barbara Trentini,
Lisa L. Tritola,
Karamo Baba Trera,
Michael Angel Trinidad,
Francis Joseph Trombino,
Gregory James Trost,
Willie Q. Troy,
William P. Salepes Jr.,
Janetta Valentinovna Soy,
Michael Patrick Tucker,
Lance Richard Tumulty,
Ching Ping Tung,
Simon James Turner,
Donald Joseph Truzio,
Robert T. Twome,
Jennifer Lynn Semez,
John G. Yultzifer,
and my brother Ryan Daniel Fitzgerald. Mom, Dad, listen, I think about you every day. Everyone, the whole family, all your friends. Miss you so much.
and my uncle John M. Poacher. I was born in 2002, so I never got to meet my uncle, but what everybody in my family says about him, he was a great man. They say that I share a lot with him, including his name as my middle name, his sense of humor, and our love for the Red Sox.
Tyler Victor Ugelin,
Michael A. Uliano,
Jonathan J. Uman,
Anil Shivhari Umarkar,
Alan V. Upton,
Diane Marie Urban,
John Damian Boccaccio,
Bradley Hodges Vadas,
William Valcarcel,
Felix Antonio Vale,
Ivan Bale,
Benito Valentin,
Santos Valentin Jr.,
Carlton Francis Valvo II,
Pendiala Vamsi Krishna,
Erica H. Van Acker,
Kenneth W. Van Auken,
R. Bruce Van Hine,
Daniel M. Van Leyer,
Edward Raymond Vanacour,
John Charles Vandavander,
Frederick T. Varachi,
Gopalakrishnan Varadhan,
David Vargas,
Scott C. Vassell,
Azail Ishmael Vasquez,
Ronald J. Vogt,
Archangel Vasquez,
Santos Vasquez,
Peter Vega,
Sankara Sastry Velamori,
Jorge Velasquez,
Lawrence G. Velling,
Anthony Mark Ventura,
David Vera,
Loretta N. Vero,
Christopher James Villalonga,
Matthew Gilbert Viana,
Robert Anthony Vicario,
Celeste Torres Victoria,
Joanna Vidal,
Frank J. John T. Vigiano II,
Joseph Vincent Vigiano,
Frank J. Vignola Jr.,
Joseph Barry Villardo,
Clarabelle Villalobos Hernandez,
Sergio Gabriel Villanueva,
Chantal Vincelli,
Melissa Renee Vincent,
Francine N. Virgilio,
Lawrence Virgilio,
Joseph Gerard Viciano,
Joshua S. Vitale,
Maria Percoco Vola,
Lynette D. Vosgy,
Garo H. Voskerijian,
Alfred Anton Vukosa,
Gregory Kamal Bruno Wattler,
Karen J. Wagner,
Mary Alice Wellstrom,
and my father, James R. Ostrowski.
and my dad, David Garcia. Dad, there's been so many things I've wanted to ask you, so many questions I've wanted to ask you, and there's been so many answers I'm sure you'd question. But one thing is for certain is that I love you and I miss you, and not one day goes by that I don't think of you. I thank you for the time we've had, and I love you.
Honor Elizabeth Wyneo.
Gabrielle Savannah Wasteman.
Wendy Alice Rosario Wakeford.
Courtney Wainsworth Walcott.
Victor Wald.
Kenneth E. Waldy.
Benjamin James Walker.
Glenn Wall.
Mitchell Scott Wallace.
Peter Gudner Wallace.
Robert Francis Wallace.
Roy Michael Wallace.
Jean Marie Wallendorf.
Matthew Blake Wallens.
Maida L. Waller.
John Wallace Jr.
Barbara P. Walsh.
Jim Walsh.
Jeffrey P. Walls.
Ching Wang.
Weeben Wang.
Michael Wakola.
Stephen Gordon Ward.
Timothy Ray Ward.
James A. Waring.
Brian G. Warner.
Derek Christopher Washington.
Charles Waters.
James Thomas Waters Jr.
Patrick J. Waters.
Kenneth Thomas Watson.
Michael Henry Way.
Todd Christopher Weaver.
Walter Edward Weaver.
Nathaniel Webb.
Dinah Webster.
William Michael Weems.
Joanne Flora Wheel.
Michael T. Weinberg.
Stephen Weinberg.
Scott Jeffrey Weingard.
Stephen George Weinstein.
Simon Weiser.
David M. Weiss.
David Thomas Weiss.
Chin Sunpak Wells.
Vincent Michael Wells.
Deborah Jacobs Welsh.
Timothy Matthew Welty.
Christian Hans Rudolph Wemmers.
Sue Wee Wen.
John Joseph Wenkus.
Ole D. Wengerchuk.
Peter M. West.
Whitfield West Jr.
Meredith Lynn Whalen.
Eugene Michael Whalen.
Adam S. White.
Edward James White III.
James Patrick White.
And my brother Chris Allingham. Chris, we love you and miss you always. Keep sending me those pennies, babe. I love you in heaven. Bye-bye.
Yvette Moreno. And my brother, Kevin Joseph Frawley. We miss you and love you always. You are our angel. God bless you and God bless America.
John Sylvester White.
Kenneth Wilburn White, Jr.
Leonard Anthony White.
Melissa Y. White.
Madeline A. White.
Sandra L. White.
Wayne White.
Leanne Marie Whiteside.
Mark P. Whitford.
Leslie A. Whittington.
Michael T. Holy.
Mary Lentz Wyman.
Jeffrey David Weiner.
William J. Wick.
Allison Marie Wildman.
Glenn E. Wilkinson.
Ernest M. Wiltshire.
John Charles Willett.
Brian Patrick Williams.
Candace Lee Williams.
Crossley Richard Williams, Jr.,
David J. Williams,
David Lucian Williams,
Debbie L. Williams,
Dwayne Williams,
Kevin Michael Williams,
Louis Anthony Williams,
Louis Calvin Williams III,
John P. Williamson,
Donna Ann Wilson,
William Eben Wilson,
David Harold Winton,
Glenn J. Winnick,
Thomas Francis Wise,
Alan S. Winniski,
Frank Paul Vinevsky,
David Wiswall,
Singrid Charlotte Wisway,
Michael R. Wittenstein,
Christopher W. Wodenschek,
Martin Phillips Wilford,
Catherine Susan Wolf,
Jennifer Yen Wong,
Sue Chung Steve Wong,
Yin Ping Wong,
Yuk Ping Wong,
Brent James Woodall,
James John Woods,
Marvin Roger Woods,
Patrick J. Woods,
Richard Heron Woodwell,
David Terrence Woolley,
John Bentley Works,
Martin Michael Wortley,
Rodney James Wooten,
William Wren, retired,
John W. Wright, Jr.,
Neil Robin Wright,
Sandra Lee Wright,
Jupiter Yambem,
and my brother, Alan N. Palumbo. Alan, after 16 years, we miss you. You have a great niece, 2 great nephews that you've never seen.
and
I wish you were here. Your sister Donna misses you. Your brother Gary misses you. Thank you. God bless you, Alan.
and my sister Jean C. De Palma. No amount of years could erase the memories of you in my heart.
John D. Yamnicki, Sr.,
Cerise Yamadella,
Vicky Yancey,
Sherwin Yang,
Matthew David Yarnell,
Myrna Yuskala,
Shakila Yasmin,
Olabasi Shadi Liani Yi,
Kevin W. Yoakum,
Edward P. York,
Kevin Patrick York,
Raymond R. York,
Suzanne Martha Humans,
Brighton Leroy Young Jr.,
Donald MacArthur Young,
Edmund G. Young Jr.,
Jacqueline Young,
Lisa L. Young,
Elkin Ewan,
Joseph C. Sokola,
Adele Agabi Zachary,
Arkady Zaltzman,
Edward J. Zambrana Jr.,
Robert Allen Zampiri,
Mark Zangrilli,
Christopher R. Zabar Jr.,
Ira Zaslow,
Kenneth Albert Zellman,
Abraham J. Zelmanowitz,
Martin Morales Zampalkos,
Shi Zheng,
Mark Scott Zemplin,
Xi Yao Justin Xiao,
Yu Gan Zhang,
Evelyn Zeminski,
Michael Joseph Zinsky,
Charles Allen Zion,
Julie Lynn Zipper.
Salvatore J. Zissa.
Prokopis Paul Zios.
Joseph J. Zukala.
Andrew Stephen Zucker.
Igor Zulkelman. And my brother, Thomas Joseph Selleck. We will always miss Tom. That'll never stop. He's just very compassionate in everything that he did. He's very caring about not just his family, but the community that he lived in. He's very spontaneous, loving. He could make you smile, make you laugh without telling a joke. It was just kind of a gift that he had. He left behind a loving wife, Roseanne, a large family, but not his own. But he was he was a runner. He was compassionate about that. Ran 10 miles a day, but he ran in the New York Marathon, for example, and twice came in first from the Staten Island, which is where we live. Wow. And I guess the end of it is just that we love him and miss him, and that's about all that you can do. Thank you.
And my beloved brother, Rudolph and Riccio. Rudy, you are my hero. You are the world's greatest younger brother. Please do me a favor and keep your eye out for Fran. She's down in Florida with Hurricane Irma. We love you, Rudy. Bye.
Rita Blau. Vincent M. Boland Jr. Colin Arthur Bonnet. Jamil Legues DeSantis. Joseph Michael Doyle. Charles A. Droz III. Jackie Saya Duggan. Patrick Thomas Dwyer. John Bruce Eagleson. Erwin L. Erker. Fanny Espinoza. Catherine K. Fagan. Walter G. Hines. Leon Lebreau. Patricia Ann Cimaroli Masari. Yvette Nicole Moreno. Dorothy Morgan. John M. Posher. And my uncle, Christopher Samuel Epps. You continue to love from above. You set the standard in our family for grace, humility, and faith. I love you and I miss you. The big brother I never had. God bless and happy belated birthday, Chris.
By the way, this is actually. What you go out and do? We heard the